Live from Maverik Center in West Valley City, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the first of a three-game series as the Grizzlies take on the Jacksonville Icemen. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's the sixth all-time meeting between the Grizzlies and the Icemen, and the Grizzlies are looking to get off the schneid as they are 0-5 against Jacksonville all-time. Well, these teams are certainly not familiar with each other. There's no former Jacksonville players on the Grizzlies roster, and there's just one former Grizzly on the Jacksonville roster, and that's defenseman Peter Tischke, who was with the Grizzlies during the 2019-2020 season, and that year he had 4 goals and 11 assists in 53 games. Well, the Grizzlies' record is 2-2-1 as they split a 2-game series last weekend against the Idaho Steelheads. They won 5-0 on Friday night as Reed Lepster had 3 goals and 1 assist, and Dylan Wells had a 46-save shutout. The Grizzlies also got goals from Jack Ricketts and Tyler Gratton. On Saturday night here at Maverik Center, it was an Idaho 4-2 victory as Utah got a first-period goal from John Gillette. It was his first professional goal. He had 15 goals in 4 years at Holy Cross College. Utah also got a 5-on-3 power play goal from Reed Lepster. Well, both teams have been pretty similar in terms of defensive success early on this season, as Jacksonville is allowing just 1.50 goals per game. This is their 5th game of the year. Jacksonville is 3-1. All of their games have been on the road. As for the Grizzlies, they're allowing just 2.4 goals per game, and the Grizzlies are 0-1 here at home and 2-1-1 on the road. Should be a fun one. Dryden McKay is going to get the start in net for the Grizzlies. It'll be his 4th appearance. He's got a record of 1-2 with a .914 save percentage. Jacksonville is going to counter with Scott Ratzlaff. Ratzlaff in his 3rd game with Jacksonville this season. He's got a record of 2-0 with a .964 save percentage. Both clubs have been equally successful on the penalty kill, as Jacksonville this season on the PK is 13 for 14, and the Grizzlies are 17 for 18, and it was really an outstanding 6 for 6 performance on the penalty kill that kept the Grizzlies in it. They were a perfect 14 for 14 last week against the Idaho Steelheads in a 2-game series. In fact, the only power play goal the Grizzlies have allowed was a 4-on-3 overtime goal that Atlanta scored on October 18th. Utah in total is 17 for 18 on the penalty kill. Both teams are looking to get something going on the power play. Utah is 2 for 19 on the power play this season. Both of Utah's power play goals were in 5-on-3 situations. Jacksonville so far in 4 games this season is 0 for 12. Well, if you're in the West Valley area, come on down as we got some good seats available here for this first game of the 3-game set. Remember, we're going to be here for 3 straight nights. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Face off all 3 evenings will be at 7 o'clock. When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, there was a Grizzly player that won a league award. And we also have 2 players making their professional debuts for the Grizzlies. One guy making his pro debut for Jacksonville, and there's 3 different Grizzlies players who are making their team debut. We're in business on a Wednesday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. For the first time since October of 2023, a Grizzly player won the league's Goaltender of the Year award, and that was Dylan Wells with the 46-save shutout against the Idaho Steelheads. It was Utah's first shutout since Dante Januzzi saved all 32 Tulsa shots on December 31st, 2023. Wells is the first Grizzly to win the league's Goaltender of the Year award since the first weekend of the 2023-24 season. That's when Garrett Metcalf had a 35-save shutout against the Tulsa Oilers. That's right, the Grizzlies twice that season shut out the Tulsa Oilers here at Maverik Center. Dryden McKay is going to get the start, and Nettie won the Hobie Baker Award in 2022, and Dylan Wells will be the backup tonight. He didn't win the League Player of the Week award, but Reed Lepster is certainly close and in consideration after all. He had 3 goals and 1 assist last Friday, and then Saturday picked up the 5-on-3 power play goal, 2:59 in as the Grizzlies closed the gap, but couldn't find a way to get that tying goal on a late power play in the third period. Idaho scored an empty netter at the end, and they got a 4-2 victory. It's been a lot of players for the Grizzlies who have had success, as Tyler Gratton's on a current 3-game point-scoring streak. He has 1 goal and 3 assists in 5 games for the Grizzlies, and he was selected as team captain on October 24th when the Grizzlies were over in Boise. John Gillette has certainly been outstanding for the Grizzlies. He scored his first pro goal, and that was on Saturday night in the first period, 9:20 in, as Gillette is the 3rd different Grizzly player to score his first pro goal this season, as Jack Ricketts scored in the second period of October 18th game against the Atlanta Gladiators. And then the following afternoon, it was Christian Felton getting his first pro goal. And obviously Saturday night, John Gillette joined the party. There are 3 different Grizzlies players that could join that, as 2 Met players are making their professional debuts and 3 making their Grizzlies debuts. Rylan Kovacevic will make his pro debut. He had an outstanding career in the WHL. He missed the first couple weeks of the season due to an injury. He'll be wearing number 15, which a few years ago, if I remember right, was worn by Cameron Wright, who led the Grizzlies in goals during the 2022-23 season. Kovacevic has a lot of potential, a lot of talent. Last season in the WHL, he scored one of those Michigan lacrosse-style goals, and hopefully does that at some point this year so he can be on SportsCenter. Maybe I can be on SportsCenter, and the Grizzlies in general can find a way to get some national attention. Also making his professional debut is defenseman Sage Weinstein, who comes over from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He actually has an NHL deal with the Colorado Avalanche, and Weinstein is just 20 years old, and he played the WHL for the last 5 years. In fact, he appeared in 249 games with the Spokane Chiefs, where he had 18 goals and 66 assists. He was 3rd on the Spokane club last season with a plus 38 rating. He will wear number 14 for John Buchanan's crew this evening. And Weinstein is making his professional debut. He didn't get in any games with the AHL's Colorado Eagles. And making his Grizzlies debut tonight, he was acquired in a trade with Greenville last week, as Stepan Timofeyev, who had a really outstanding year a couple seasons ago with the Norfolk Admirals. He actually played against the Grizzlies a couple years ago in Norfolk. The only thing we really remember from that series was the Military Night Miracle in March of 2024. But that season with Norfolk, he had 20 goals and 33 assists and a plus 15 rating in 62 games. He also had a pretty good 2024 playoff run with the Admirals, where he had 4 goals in 8 games. Timofeyev will wear number 10 for the Grizzlies, and won in 3 games with Greenville earlier this season. He had 1 goal. And remember, he was with Greenville against the Grizzlies on opening night on October 17th. Timofeyev is going to be a ton of fun. Last year with Norfolk, he had 14 goals and 25 assists and a plus 20 rating in 45 games. And then he was traded to Greenville, where in 10 games he had 2 goals and 3 assists. So Stepan Timofeyev, the 30-year-old from Russia, is making his Grizzlies debut. So there's 3 different players making their team debuts for the Grizzlies tonight. On the Jacksonville side, John Spetz is making his pro debut. He's a first-year pro out of UConn. Should be a ton of fun. A good crowd's filing in here to Maverik Center. Some good seats available if you're in the West Valley area. Come on out and join us as the Grizzlies take on the Jacksonville Icemen. When we come back, we'll go over the lineups for both teams. You're tuned into the pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. We're not really familiar with the Jacksonville Icemen all that often, as now you have the Grizzlies only faced Jacksonville 5 times all time, and the last time was a couple years ago, but these teams don't even play the same common opponents. Jacksonville is led by head coach Sean Tickle, and Garrett Cockrell is the assistant coach. Jacksonville comes in with a record of 3-1. They haven't played a home game yet. This is their 5th game of the road trip. Jacksonville has been a team that's been pretty good over the last couple seasons. They've had a strong defensive identity, and right now they are allowing just 1.5 goals per game. They've only allowed 6 goals through 4 games this season. So let's go over the lineups for the Icemen and the Grizzlies. Let's start with Jacksonville. Starting in net's going to be Scott Ratzlaff, who in 2 games this season has a .964 save percentage, which ranks 4th in the league, and a 1.43 goals against average. Cameron Rowe, who was part of the national championship Western Michigan club last season. They won a Frozen Four. Rowe is the backup. Rowe is 6'3" and 215 pounds. We'll probably see him at some point in this series. So Ratzlaff is the starter and Rowe's the backup. The starting defensive pairing for the Icemen includes Adrian Beraldo, who in 2 games has 4 penalty minutes and a +1 rating. And he's going to be paired up with Peter Tischke, the former Grizzly, who is 6'1" and 224 pounds. He played his college hockey at Wisconsin. He was a Grizzly during the 2019-2020 season. So it's going to be Beraldo and Tischke. That's the starting defensive pairing. You also see Jaden Candada paired up with Aiden Fulp. Fulp, a 3rd-year pro out of Western Michigan University. And Braden Hislop's going to be paired up with John Spetz. Spetz making his professional debut. He played his college hockey at UConn. So that's the 6th defenseman for the Jacksonville Icemen. The starting forwards are the top forward line on Sean Tickle's lineup sheet, and that includes Nathan Dunkley, who has 1 goal and 1 assist in 4 games. He'll be wearing number 7. Matteo Costantini played at Western Michigan University, where he won a national championship. He's gone on a current 4-game point scoring streak, as he has a point in all 4 pro games he's appeared in. He has 1 goal and 3 assists in 4 games. He is 6 feet and 172 pounds. And Patrick Bykov, who's made the rounds here in the ECHL. He's played with many different teams, including Cincinnati. He has 1 assist in 4 games. So Dunkley, Costantini, and Bykov are the starting forward line for Jacksonville. You also see Chris Grando lined up with Garrett Van Wyk and Christopher Brown. Christopher Brown's father is Doug Brown, the former NHLer who was with Pittsburgh, New Jersey, and Detroit. We will see Bennett MacArthur out there with Liam Coughlin and Brody Crane. And the 4th forward line from left to right is James Hardy with Dalton Duhart and Tyler Coffey. So that's the Jacksonville Icemen, who are making their 5th appearance on an ECHL ice this season. And now the lineup for the homestanding Utah Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Buchanan. The assistants are Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilley. Director of Hockey Operations is Eric Hudson. Athletic trainer is Brooke Timoney, and the equipment manager is DJ McFarland. Grizzlies come in with a record of 2-1. This is their 2nd home game here at Maverik Center. They're looking for their first victory. And getting the start in net is Dryden McKay, the 2022 Hobey Baker Award winner. He played against Jacksonville last season as a member of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. McKay is 6 feet and 183 pounds. In 3 games, he has a 1-2 record with a 2.68 goals against average and a .914 save percentage. The reigning league goaltender of the week is Dylan Wells, and he's the backup tonight. We'll probably see Wells later on in this series. So McKay gets the start in net. The starting defensive pairing is Garrett Pike and Christian Felton. Pike missed Saturday's game due to a family matter. He had 2 goals in the regular season opener on October 17th against Greenville. He'll be wearing number 7. He is 6'1" and 190 pounds. And Christian Felton has 1 goal and 1 assist and an even plus-minus rating in 5 games this season. So Pike and Feltner, the starting defensive pairing. We will see Sage Weinstein making his professional debut, the 20-year-old who played in the WHL with Spokane over the last 5 years. And he's going to be paired up with Aiden Hansen-Bucata, who has 4 assists in 2 games with Utah. Hansen-Bucata has been an assist machine his entire college career. He's a first-year pro, and it's going to be fun to see him on the ice wearing number 20. Watch out for him on Grizzlies power play situations. Luke Salem leads all league defensemen with 16 shots on goal, and Salem's going to be paired up with Noah Gansky, the big 6'7 defenseman who used to play with the Fort Wayne Comets. The defensive scratches for the Grizzlies include Kobe Enns and Avery Winslow. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies include the captain, Tyler Gratton. Gratton has a current 3-game point scoring streak. He has 1 goal and 3 assists in 5 games. Luke Manning has 1 assist in 5 games. He'll be wearing number 16. He's the starting center. And the starting right wing is Reed Webster, who had 4 goals and 1 assist last week in the 2-game series against the Idaho Steelheads. So starting forwards again are Gratton, Manning, and Webster. Second forward line includes John Gillette. Gillette scored his first pro goal last Saturday against the Idaho Steelheads. Griffin Ness has 1 assist in 5 games. And Danny Genev, the Penn State product, that's a second forward line from left to right, as it's Gillette along with Ness and Genev. Third forward line is going to feature Rylan Kovacevic, who's making his professional debut. Kovacevic played in the WHL, and he's going to be lined up with Evan Friesen and Stefan Timofeyev. Timofeyev making his Grizzlies debut, the former Norfolk Admiral and Greenville Swamp Rabbit. Fourth forward line from left to right includes Neil Shea, who's got 3 assists in 5 games. He's going to be lined up with Jack Ricketts, who has 2 goals in 5 games. Ricketts, a first-year pro, has got an AHL contract with Tucson. And Ty Voigt has 2 goals in 5 games this season. Let's see if we can pick up the starting lineups from Mark Larson, the PA announcer. So that's the starting lineup for the Grizzlies. Once again, it's going to be the captain, Tyler Gratton, with Luke Manning and Reed Webster, and a defensive pairing of Garrett Pike and Christian Felton, as well as Dryden McKay in net. Grizzlies are in a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim, as the Icemen are in a blue jersey, kind of like Tampa Bay Lightning blue, with white numbers, white lettering in the back, as Jacksonville is at Maverik Center for just the 4th time all time. Now there's some seats still available here at Maverik Center. Come on out and join us. We're going to have a ton of fun. It's the opener of a 3-game series. When we come back, we'll have face-off here at Maverik Center. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. Now we'll have our national anthem here on this Wednesday night.
Now, please rise and remove your caps to the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by Academia East Texas.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Jacksonville Icemen. It's the first of a 3-game series. It's a 3-game and 3-day set, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. Face off after this on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
All right, we're going to have a ton of fun here this evening as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Jacksonville Icemen in the opener of a 3-game series as Grisby waves the flag as he skates near both teams' benches. 2 referees tonight, Sydney Harris, the first female official in league history. She's going to have number 16 on the back of her black and white jersey, if you will. Rocco Stakoviak is the other referee. Linesmen are Craig Peterson and Andy Van Wagner. Jacksonville this season has been outshot 153-93. They allow 38.8 shots per game. They've only taken 23.3 shots per contest. Grizzlies have allowed 35.2 shots per game, and they have shot 26.2%. So it's going to be interesting to see which team can dictate the pace and tempo of this game. Grizzlies in a white jersey, black numbers, professional green trim, white helmets. And they've got the forward line of Tyler Gratton, Luke Manning, and Reed Webster on the ice. We're just waiting for the lights to turn on so we can play hockey. Defensive pairings, Christian Felton and Garrett Pike. Former Grizzly Peter Tischke's part of the defensive pairing with Adrian Beraldo. Taking the draws, Matteo Costantini against Utah's Luke Manning. Stakoviak waiting to drop the puck. And he does at center ice. Jacksonville wins the faceoff. They skate from left to right in a blue jersey, white numbers, white lettering, a little bit of black mixed in on the shoulders and bottom of the jersey. Grizzlies will backhand it in as Webster chases after it. Peter Tischke with the puck. Tischke, and we got a fight right off the bat. Tyler Gratton starts throwing left. On 2 big 3 rights, knocked down Gratton. Tyler Gratton dropped the gloves with Adrian Beraldo. Looked like Gratton got a couple good lefts, and then Beraldo belted Gratton with about 2 or 3 rights of his own. And so just like that, 19 seconds in, the captain Tyler Gratton drops the gloves with Adrian Beraldo. As Beraldo, as I mentioned, got about 3 good punches in and knocked down Gratton. Luckily, both guys were able to get to their feet. And so this one starts with a fight 19 seconds in, as Sydney Harris, one of 2 referees, signals 5 minutes for fighting. And Gratton and Beraldo each are sitting in the penalty box. So there's a fun start to this game. As Draw's going to be in the Jacksonville zone. That's where the puck was that's where they were when they dropped the gloves. So Genev replaces Grattan. Otherwise, it's the same skaters for both teams that started the game. Utah wins the draw. Genev gets up top to Pike. Pike in the left point. He fires lefty shot. Saved by Scott Ratzlaff, the Jacksonville goaltender. Webster gets back checked and gets the puck taken away from him as Jacksonville crosses center ice. Matteo Costantini dumps it in, but he did so from his own territory. And so Jacksonville's called for icing. We get another whistle 35 seconds in. Grizzlies led by first-year head coach John Buchanan. The assistants are Jack Skilly and Ryan Anderson. Faceoff's going to be at center ice. As one of the officials said, my bad. Evan Friesen's going to take the draw for Utah against Christopher Brown. Christopher Brown's father, Doug Brown, played in the NHL over 800 games, was with Pittsburgh, New Jersey, and Detroit. Long-range feed looking for Brown. He couldn't get a piece of it, and icing is on Jacksonville as we now have 3 whistles 45 seconds into the game. In fact, I think I actually watched a game that Doug Brown played in earlier today. I watched 1999 Red Wings and Sabres on YouTube. It turned out to be a fun game, but it ended in a 4-4 tie. I think Doug Brown was playing for the Red Wings that night. First professional shift for Rylan Kovacevic, wearing number 15. He's a young player with an AHL contract with the Colorado Eagles, and he's exciting. Salem Mangansky is the defensive pairing. Kovacevic's wearing number 15 for the Grizzlies. Jacksonville wins the draw. The Iceman will pitch it towards Christopher Brown. A glance off of his stick, and he's able to move it ahead. And swiping it in is Garrett Van Wyde, the Michigan product. Now back to the middle of the ice. Lefty shot saved by McKay as they're able to get a good pass in to Chris Grando, who played at Arizona State and Boston College. As Friesen left side is shot, and that one's blocked away by Ratzlaff. As he played a minute 15, still no score. Grizzlies with the first shot of the game, and that was Friesen from the left wing. Kovacevic dancing around. He's a crafty skater and a really good shooter. As hitting the ice is number 10, Stepan Timofeyev. It's his first shift as a Grizzly. He comes off the ice. Grando right point. His shot swept away by McKay. McKay is very active and skilled with his stick. Grando gets up top as Jason Spetz in his first shift as a pro. As a glance off his stick, Genev races into the offensive zone, accelerates, stops in the right corner, gets back to his feet as he's being shadowed by Tishke. Tishke knocks down Genev. They both played in the Big Ten. Tishke with Wisconsin and Genev with Penn State. Puck is lunged out to center ice. Pike gloves it and drops it. Ness in the area. So is Gillette and Genev. Pike comes out with the puck. He'll get it to Felton. Now back to Pike down the middle of the ice. Blue line to blue line feed off of Ness's stick. It rolls towards Retzlaff. He'll throw it around his net. Tishke looks over his right shoulder. Now he gets the puck. He'll one-handed ahead as Bennett MacArthur, number 11, gets around Pike, skates towards the right corner in the Grizzlies zone. Now he pushes it back towards the right side as dancing around Hislop. He loses the puck. Hislop's first name is Braden. He has 1 assist in 4 games this season. Puck goes back to Jacksonville. Hislop gets the puck. Grizzlies make a line change. Jacksonville switches up forwards. Up ahead, Iceman will bounce it off the Pike. Puck goes to Shea at neutral ice. He dangles back and forth. Now he gets to Pike as there's 17-18 on the moving clock first period. Shea collides with Hislop. Taking the puck is Coffey. Tyler's his first name. Right side lefty shot. Saved by McKay as McKay's been active so far, and he's looked pretty sharp. Shea will drop it for Ricketts. Ricketts lays it for Voigt on side. Back to Shea. Right side lefty shot. Saved by Ratzlaff. And he holds on about waist high as he absorbed it and didn't allow a second chance. So both teams have 2 shots. We've played 2 minutes and 58 seconds. You know, there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. Thanks for choosing the Grizzlies tonight. Who's your pick to click? Who do you think is going to be the star of the game for Utah? For me, I think Neil Shea is going to have a breakout performance. Shea is my pick to click. He's out there with Ricketts and Ty Voigt. And that's the 4th forward line for Utah. Grizzlies have a stacked deck when in terms of skilled forwards. Jacksonville wins the draw. Coffey lets it go. He was at the Jacksonville line, and icing is on the Icemen as they try to get to Coffey. Coffey was being shadowed by Salem, and even if Coffey got a piece of it, puck was in Jacksonville territory. So we head all the way down towards the left circle. Both teams really focus a lot on the defensive side of things. Jacksonville, despite allowing 38.8 shots per game, which is next to last in the league, they've only allowed 6 goals through 4 games this season. Grizzlies win the draw. Salem will get to Gansky in the right point. Gansky dangles back and forth. He helicopters it off the Jacksonville backboard. Icemen get it back. Grizzlies back defensively as Aiden Fulp, the Western Michigan product, third-year pro, will glance off a Shea's stick. Shea goes down as he battles with Coffee along the near wing wall. Jacksonville has it scored out towards Spetz in his first shift. His second shift as a pro. Spetz will fire it off the far wing boards, and Jacksonville's call for icing as we get yet another whistle. 3.5 minutes in. Time remaining on the first period clock is 16:31. John Spetz making his pro debut. He played at UConn. The newest Grizzly talking things over, and it's Sage Weinstein, first-year pro, 20 years old, played with Spokane over the last 5 years in the WHL. He's out there with Hanson Bukata. Puck goes towards Weinstein. Left point. He tried to get towards Genev. He went past him. Genev lays a screen for Lebster. Now to the left side for Manning. Lefty shot. Saved by Ratzlaff. And he's able to hold on. As 16:21. That's the time remaining first period. Hanson Bukata stays on the ice. He's got 4 assists in 2 games as a Grizzly. Both of those came in the series against Idaho. He had 3 assists in his Grizzlies debut on October 24th. Utah won 5-0, and he had 1 assist on October 25th. Manning's going to take the draw on the left side. He's out there with Lebster and Genev. And now the draw won by Jacksonville. Peter Tischke will lunge it out towards neutral ice. Grizzlies get it back as Bukata tried to get to Manning, went over his stick. Tischke takes it, and he'll throw out the center ice, and driving it in is Patrick Bykov, who's a +2 so far this season. Bykov has played with many teams. As Genev gets the center ice, he'll push it ahead to Manning. Manning tries to center it, and it's picked off as they're trying to get to Lebster. Bykov gets the bouncing puck. Weinstein in the area. Weinstein takes the puck, and we get a whistle. Action was near the blue line. It must have exited, then re-entered the zone. So the whistle blows, offsides the call. And we'll have a neutral zone draw as both teams will switch up skaters. 15:55 is the time remaining first period. Both teams have 2 shots. Evan Friesen talking things over with Kovacevic. Also out on the ice for the Grizzlies is Stepan Timofeyev, who's wearing number 10 for the Grizzlies. As out towards center ice, Jacksonville gets the puck. Fulp, his pass is picked off. As Timofeyev over to Friesen, who tried to center it back towards Timofeyev. Pass behind him as Friesen had to get some air under it as he was battling with Aiden Fulp. Puck slides towards the Jacksonville bench, and Felton will drive it in as the puck ricochets off the stanchion and wobbles all the way towards the left corner. Whistle blows as looked like one of the officials thought the puck ended up hitting the protective netting. 15:29 left in the first, and the dominator so far has been the whistle. We've seen quite a few whistles here early on. Ness talking things over with Felton. Ness in his second year as a pro, playing 73 games in this league last year. Felton, technically a second year, while he's really a rookie, played in 20 games total last season, and you got to play more than 25 as the puck kicks over Felton as he tried to play soccer to keep it in the right point. Puck back to the Utah line, one-handed ahead from Pike towards Genev, back towards Pike. Pike trying to get to Genev, and it's knifed away by Chris Grando. Grando falls down. Genev gets the puck out towards center ice. Gillette, he looked like he was about to get tripped up. Way out of his crease comes Ratzlaff. Puck to the right side, lefty shot, saved by Ratzlaff, and he holds on as the puck went all the way towards the right corner. And tough angled shot by Genev, and he was able to fire away. Ratzlaff made the save. So the Grizzlies are up to 3 shots. Jacksonville's taken 2. As we're just getting underway, so grab some chips and dip and a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Wednesday with us. Genev last year had 12 goals and 19 assists in 40 games with Penn State. He reached the Frozen Four for the first time in program history. Tyler Grant, the Grizzlies captain, sitting in the penalty box. He got in a fight 19 seconds into the game with Adrian Beraldo. Both guys got some good blows in. Beraldo got the final 3. As out towards center ice, Shannon, a back check, took it away from Brody Crane. Crane's got 2 goals in 4 games this season. And we get yet another whistle with 14:48 left in the first. There was action near the Jacksonville bench. That's where the faceoff's going to be. Now it looks like one of the linesmen says the draw is going to be at center ice. That's linesman Craig Peterson. It's like Peterson's checking his hand to see if there's blood. Liam Coughlin will take the draw against Jack Ricketts. Coughlin's been in the league for quite some time. He's a +1 this season for Jacksonville. Big guy, 6'3", 210 pounds. Ricketts has pretty good size in his own right. Puck bounces off the Jacksonville skate off the draw. Shea runs it down, and he'll bounce it in. As behind the net, it looked like Ratzlaff gets pretty aggressive trying to come out of his net on a couple of occasions. Left side, Salem, lefty shot, kick saved by Ratzlaff. Jacksonville comes back the other way. They tried to feed it to Crane. It was overled for him. Grizzlies tattoo the puck off the near boards. Now the Grizzlies sweep it back deeper in their own zone. Salem gets the puck. He's sporting a sweet mustache. He rolls along the near side towards Shea. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the period. He'll get to Ricketts down the middle of the ice. Ricketts collides. A big-time collision with John Spatz. As Spatz luckily got back to his feet. Shea out towards the left circle. It's knifed away. Ricketts gets it. He dances around. He skates towards the left point. He'll backhand it across as Voigt gets it towards Shea. Shea skates to the right side. He's got an A on his sweater over to Voigt. High slot. Voigt fires it to a vacated right corner as the Grizzlies are at the end of a shift. Spetz will move it ahead towards the right point. Buchanan dances around. So is Griffin Ness. Manning in the area. And Jacksonville one-hands it out to center ice to clear it out as they make a change, switching up forwards. Both teams keeping their shifts short. Weinstein to Manning, who dumps it in. Weinstein and Buchanan come off the ice. Webster to the right side. Gets up top for Manning. Manning trying to get to Pike on the left side. It's taken away. Crane gets the puck. Moves it towards the left side, but the Icemen delayed offside as James Hardy, number 2, couldn't hold his ground. Grizzlies come back the other way. Felton dangles back and forth. He'll get to center ice. Negotiates his way to the offensive line. Right point, dumps it in, chases after it. He gets belted by Peter Tischke, who's had a pretty strong first period. Tischke was with the Grizzlies for one season. That was the 2019-2020 year. As Jacksonville around towards the near corner. Sharp angled shot hits the side of the net that was taken by Tyler Coffey, the Colorado College product, first-year pro. Grizzlies move it from one blue line to the other. We're extending his stick as Jaden Kandata, who's in his 5th game of the season. Now right side, Coffey, lefty shot saved by McKay. As Gansky gets it back towards the right side. Friesen over to Kovacevic, who dumps it in, getting around Fulp. Kovacevic tried to center, and it's picked off by Kandata. And so they'll get it back towards the near wing wall. Action deep in the Jacksonville zone as there's 12:42 on a moving clock. First period, no score. Grizzlies have outshot the Icemen 4-3. Grizzlies skate in. Salem tries to get around a triple team, and the Icemen knock it away. Up ahead to the right side. Bykov gets the puck, skates towards the right side. Starting pass, lefty shot. Kick saved by McKay. What a stop by Dryden McKay. He had one of the saves the week last week. That could be one right there. High slot shot saved by McKay again, and he holds on. As John Spetz fired away from the high slot. Puck kicked off of McKay's stick, and he was able to dive in front of the crease to cover up. Boy, both goaltenders have looked strong so far. 12:21 is the time remaining. First period, still no score. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
12:21 left in the first period. Both teams, actually Jacksonville now has a 5-4 edge in the shot count. Dryden McKay with a couple good stops here early on. McKay had a stop last Saturday against Idaho that was listed as one of the league's top 3 saves of the week. Wish we would have seen the Tulsa one, but their camera operator is so terrible we didn't even get to see that save. Even though they posted it, it must have been so great they had to post it anyway as one of the 3 saves, even though they never actually showed the save. They just showed the camera operator trying to find things. Still no score. Puck at neutral ice. Griffin Ness gets it. He'll right-handed ahead to John Gillette. Gillette gets bounced to the boards. Genev gets the puck. He tries to get around a Jacksonville skater. Gillette in the area. Jacksonville comes up with it. Nathan Dunkley, number 7, will throw it cross ice and neutral ice. It's knocked away by Weinstein, number 14. Sage is his first name, making his pro debut. Long-range feed, and it goes all the way down for an icing as they try to get to Dunkley around the Utah line, left point, and went past him all the way down for an icing as Dunkley thought he had done enough to get down there to negate the icing, but it gets called with 11:46 left in the first. Don't forget, it's going to be a busy few days here at Maverik Center, as not only do we have a game tonight, but tomorrow night and Friday night as well. 3 games in 3 days, all of them against the same Jacksonville Icemen club. Ricketts will take the drives out to Roche and Voigt. Grizzlies win the draw. Felton dangles back and forth. Skates towards a high slot. Righty shot is blocked by Bykov. He can't find it. It might be in Bykov's jersey. Actually, it's in his pants as he pulls it out of his sock and hands it to linesman Andy Van Wagener. So draw's going to stay in the Jacksonville zone. Ricketts talking things over. He's out there with Voigt and Shea. Ricketts talking with Christian Felton. Felton out of Merrimack College. Very skilled player. Can do just about anything with the puck. Pike in the area as well. He's standing in the high slot. Draws in the left circle. And it's won by Jacksonville. Boy, the Icemen have won more than their fair share of faceoffs here in the first period. Christopher Brown crosses center ice, and he'll whip it around the wall. Over towards the left corner. It's swept deep behind Utah's net. Brown tries to center it, and Voigt throws it to the right corner. Jacksonville gets it up top. Tischke will bounce it off a stanchion. Puck bounces to the middle of the ice. Grizzlies clear it out to center as it goes off a Voigt's stick. Taking the puck is Beraldo, who's done with his fighting major. He fought Tyler Gratton 19 seconds in. Pike past Shea. He was nearby with Tischke. Out to center ice. As Beraldo overskates, he was nearby. Voigt, the former Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick. Right wing feed from Shea to Ricketts. Ricketts right side. Lefty shot, and that's blocked away. As Jacksonville skates around their goaltender. Tonight it's Scott Ratzlaff. Cameron Rose, the backup. As crossing center ice is Beraldo, and he'll lunge it in. As Salem, he gets belted behind the net by Brody Crane, who's 5'11", 186 pounds. Puck wobbles out to center ice. Gratton throws it towards Jacksonville ice, but the Icemen get it back. Now at the Utah line, 2-on-2 scrum. Icemen get the puck before Lebster, and whipping around the wall is Bennett MacArthur, who's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 4 games. Down the middle of the ice, Fulp with a righty shot that goes wide as he missed the net over McKay. Fulp gets it back. He's in the right point. He'll feed it to the right circle as Jacksonville stops on a dime. They're being hawked by Pike. Now puck up top as Condada will bounce one off a Lebster's stick. Goes deeper in the zone. MacArthur, right goal line, tried to center it. There's about 3 Grizzlies in the area, and it bounced off a Pike. Lebster gets the puck. He gets around Fulp. Out towards center ice, taking it away is Condada, who wears number 63. He gets cut off by Manning as Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, has it at the Utah line. Now he'll get around Iceman. Out towards Coffey. Now Manning, left side. He takes a lefty shot that goes wide. He missed the net along the near side. Now Lebster, right side. He'll take a righty shot and it's gloved by Ratzlaff, and he holds on as there's 9:40 left in the first period. Both teams have 5 shots. We've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time, and both units, both Jacksonville and Utah, have been outstanding on the penalty kill. Utah is 17 for 18 on the penalty kill this year. Jacksonville is 13 for 14. Kovacevic will take the draw for the Grizzlies. His pro debut, he's been looking forward to this one for quite some time. Played with Moose Jaw in the WHL, 21 goals, 19 assists in 33 games, and also played with Prince Albert second half of last season, had 5 goals in 27 games. In the playoffs with Prince Albert, he had 6 goals and 4 assists in 11 games. As Kovacevic trying to handle it, at neutral ice went past him. Now the Grizzlies reset. Weinstein in the near side. As he gets ahead, it's overled for Timofeyev off his stick. Now left side, shot and a score. Dalton Duhart gets his first goal of the season as he converts on a turnover as he just bounced it off of McKay. And the Icemen take a 1-0 lead. Just ricocheted off about the right shoulder of Dryden McKay. As Duhart high-fived everybody in the Icemen bench. Jacksonville makes a full line change. 9:11 is the time remaining first period. And Dalton Duhart is the first goal scorer of the night. That's his 4th goal in this league. It's his 42nd game. It's unassisted. As Duhart spent some time with Bloomington and the Kansas City Mavericks. The second rolled off the clock. Sidney Harris says reset the thing to 9:11. So unassisted, Dalton Duhart scores 10:49 in. Draw at center ice, won by Jacksonville. As Peter Tischke gets the center ice, he'll bounce it in as it ricochets off both the near boards and the end wall. As Jacksonville skates from left to right. Right side, Bykov, righty shot. That's sticked away by McKay. As it's lifted high into the air and helicopters all the way deep into the Icemen's zone. No icing as Gillette delivers a bullet belt as he hits Tischke over in the left corner. As coming back up with the puck is Adrian Baraldo, who's 6 feet, 183 pounds out of Stony Creek, Ontario. As the Icemen dump it in, Pike in the area as he gets a good rough ride from Bykov, who wears number 8. As Felton and Pike, now we have a 3-on-3 scrum along the boards, and I got a feeling if you love those scrums along the board, you're going to see a ton of them this week. Felton gets the puck. He stands behind McKay's net. Grizzlies set up the attack. Jacksonville leads 1-0 on an unassisted goal by Dalton Duhart. As the Grizzlies will switch up forwards. Felton gets chased at by Van Wy. As Felton will kick it off a Grizzlies skate. Brown throws to the Utah line. Felton gets it back. Felton now tries to accelerate. He'll backhand it towards Neil Shea, who gets pinned to the boards by Fulp. As Ricketts trying to center it to Volpe. It's a Volt. Pass behind him. Voigt. And now 3-on-3 Jacksonville. Over the line. Left side. Shot by the captain's blocked away. And the captain for Jacksonville is Christopher Brown. Brown gets a stick from one of his teammates. Action in the Grizzlies zone. As Lepster gets the puck, it lifted over Ricketts' head. It's gloved and dropped by Jaden Kandata, the 6 feet, 194-pound defenseman. And it's whipped around the boards by Aiden Fulp, the third-year pro to Western Michigan. Then Y gets pushed in the back. Puck goes up top. Jacksonville keeps it in. They skate towards the right side. Hislop will drop it off as Jacksonville works it back up top to Spetz. As John Spetz fires towards the net, and that's sticked away about 10 feet in front of McKay. And Iceman hits the ice, and it's going to be a penalty as Sidney Harris calls a trip, and it's going to be on Noah Gansky. So 7:22 is left in the first period, and the Icemen, who are looking for their first power play goal of the season, go to work. Noah Gansky gets 2 minutes for tripping. Grizzlies' penalty kill has been outstanding, 17 for 18. The 17 successful penalty kills lead the league. Grizzlies in their 4-man penalty kill unit have Tyler Gratton out there with Reed Lepster and a defensive pairing of Garrett Pike and Christian Felton. Christopher Brown will take the draw. Watch out for Bennett MacArthur. He's got 2 goals already this season. And Nathan Dunkley has 1 goal this year. Up top is Costantini and Aiden Fulp. Puck is pinned along the end boards. McKay looks over his left shoulder. Is trying to break free. Brown gets up top. Fulp in the right point. Dances towards his left. He's now in the high slot. Fulp surveys. He'll feed it to his left. Now back up top to Fulp over the right side. MacArthur. Shot kick saved by McKay as it ricocheted off his left pad. MacArthur will get it back to the right goal line as Dunkley will switch places. Now he fires towards the net and it's sticked away. Brown gets it to Costantini in the left circle. Now up top to Fulp. Fulp high slot. Righty shot like a right direct and bounced off of McKay's left pad. Brown gets pushed to the boards by Felton. Pike in the area. He gets a rough ride from MacArthur as Dunkley joins the play. Pike holds his ground. Gratton gives Dunkley a push in the back. Puck goes back up top left point. Fulp will feed it to Costantini. Now to the left side. They try to get it across to MacArthur. It's sticked away by the Grizzlies and it flies out of play. And a fan in row 1 of section 116 will come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. So 1:04 is left in Utah's first penalty kill of the game. Jacksonville leads 1-0 on an unassisted goal by Dalton Duhart. 10:49 in. Manning will take the draw for the Grizzlies. He's one of their best penalty killing forwards. He's out there with John Gillette, Luke Salem, and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Linesman Andy Van Wagener will drop the puck. And the puck is dropped. Jacksonville wins the faceoff. Icemen have won a ton of faceoffs here early on. Puck ricochets off the near boards. Chris Grando dances around. He'll feed it to the right goal lines. The Icemen made a line change in their last whistle. Tischke over to the left wing. Jacksonville dancing back and forth as Bykov will lay it for Crane back towards Tischke. Crone plays for another team in this league. Tischke, high slot, fires a lefty shot, and he scores. McKay was screened. He tried to locate the puck, and Peter Tischke has scored for the Icemen. He had 4 goals with Utah in the 2019-2020 season, and Tischke gets a power play goal. It's his first of the season, and that's the Icemen's first power play goal of the year, and they lead 2-0. There was two bodies in front of McKay, and in particular, big Garrett Van Wy. And McKay just couldn't spot it. Didn't know where the puck was, and before he knew it, it was over his shoulder in the back of the net. So Dalton Duhart and Peter Tischke have the Jacksonville goals. Tischke's goal was assisted by Patrick Bykov and Brody Crane. Grizzlies skate in, shot saved by Ratzlaff. 5:44 is left in the first period. Icemen have outshot the Grizzlies 10-6, and the score is Jacksonville 2, Utah nothing. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable, all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Jacksonville leads 2-0. It's the first of a 3-game series. Make sure to join us on Friday night for Halloween. Grizzlies are going to be wearing a Halloween skeleton-themed specialty jersey with a white base. You're going to want to make sure to catch that to know what those jerseys look like. Follow the Grizzlies on social media. Offensive zone draw for the Grizz. Back in the right circle as Ricketts will take these out there with Shea and Voigt. Grizzlies rolling with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen. They have 18 skaters for the first time all year. Jacksonville tattoos off the near boards. Grizzlies skate from right to left. Ricketts trying to get it to Shea. Goes off the stick. Shea will bounce one in as he gets pushed along the boards by number 18, John Spetz. As the Icemen throw up behind Duhart. Scored the first goal for Jacksonville. Duhart has a glance off his stick. He'll kick it off of Weinstein. Sage is his first name, S-A-I-G-E. He'll spin it to the near side. Shea will pitch it back to neutralize and beyond as it's going to be icing's waved off. Hislop will throw it to the near side to Bykov. Back to Hislop as the Grizzlies made a full line change. About 5 minutes left in the first period. Jacksonville leads 2-0. Icemen patient with their approach as Hislop will get out towards center ice, and he globes it deep in the Grizzly zone as it ricochets off the glass towards McKay's right. Gansky dances around, stops on a dime. He's a good skater for a guy 6'7". He'll move it out to neutralize. Grizzlies cross center as skating towards the right side. Righty shot. That one's blocked away by Ratzlaff. Taking that shot was Stepan Timofeyev in his Grizzlies debut wearing number 10. As it's globed in by Beraldo. Gansky rolls along the far wing wall. Beraldo keeps it in. Back towards the left side. He tried to sweep it to the middle of the ice looking for Chris Grando. Grando's speedy as Grizzlies will sky it deep into the Icemen zone. Utah makes a full line change. 4:12 on a moving clock first period. Jacksonville leads 2-0 on goals from Dalton Duhart and Peter Tischke. Garrett Pike got hit up high. Pike gets the puck. Delayed penalties. He's getting pushed by Van Wy. It's touched up by the Icemen. And the Grizzlies will get their first power play of the game. Roughing's going to be the call. And who's it going to be on? Garrett Van Wy skating towards the penalty box. He's going to skate towards the bench. Penalty on Jacksonville is going to be on Adrian Beraldo. That's his second penalty. He got in a fight with Gratton 19 seconds into the game. So Beraldo came in with 4 penalty minutes in 2 games. Now has 9 penalty minutes in 2 and a third games. Beraldo gets 2 minutes for roughing. Time of penalty, 16:02 in. Grizzlies 5-man power play unit as Tyler Gratton taking the draw. He's got Lepster to his right and Shea to his left. And up top is Aiden Hansen-Bukata and Ty Voigt. Same 5-man power play unit as we've seen here in a couple games this season. That's what they had last week against Idaho in both games. Icemen win the draw. Boy, Jacksonville's won more than their fair share in the first period. Be interesting what the off-ice officials say is that total. Bucata left side across to Voigt. Voigt just outside the right circle, gets to Lebster. Lebster back to Voigt. Now up top to Bucata. Across to Shea, who skates towards the left circle. Dangles back and forth. They'll feed it to Gratton behind the net. Now to Voigt. Voigt dances back and forth, trying to get to Bucata as he gets tapped away by Christopher Brown, Jacksonville's captain. Now Shea left wing takes a lefty shot that goes wide as he missed the net stick side on Ratzlaff, and the Icemen saucer it all the way down deep towards McKay. Icemen get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. Grizzlies keep the same 5-man unit. Bucata out to neutralize. We'll dump it back for Lebster. Lebster races across center ice. Lebster played with a couple different colleges, including Michigan State University. From one corner to the other, it goes past Gratton and past Voigt all the way out to center ice. Bucata back in the Grizzlies zone. Utah skating from right to left here in the period. 3 minutes on a moving clock first period. We're halfway through Utah's first power play of the game. Utah is 2 for 19 on the power play, and both of those goals came in 5-on-3 situations. Bucata drops it for Manning, who gets to neutralize. Manning crosses center, and he'll lay it for Genev as Grizzlies filter players on and off. Genev races over the offense line, skates towards a corner. He gets tripped up, and that will be a penalty. And that means a 5-on-3 power play for 40 seconds. Boy, Genev's like a blur. He's like lightning on skates. Got towards the right side and then tried to skate towards the right corner. Accelerated, and he got tripped up by Garrett Van Wy. Those two are Big Ten products. Van Wy at Michigan University and Geneva from Penn State. So I mentioned the Grizzlies do have 2 5-on-3 goals this season. Can they get a goal 5-on-3? Tripping's a call, time a penalty, 17-22 in. Same 5 that started the power play with Gratton on the ice. So we'll see if Utah can get on the board and get this Maverik Center crowd fired up for the first time tonight. Although some of them were fired up for that fight 19 seconds in. At least the ones that were here on time. Jacksonville wins the draw, and they'll saucer it all the way deep in the Grizzlies zone. Bucata runs it down. Grizzlies want to be quick with this as they only have 30 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Voigt in the left wing. Steps over the offensive line. He skates past Shea. Voigt loses the puck. Brown gets spun around with Voigt in the area. Puck goes up top and stays in with Bucata. Now to Gratton off his stick. Bucata races to the right point to get it. Bucata falls down as he had Brown in the area. Gratton on the right side over to Voigt just outside the left circle. Voigt dances towards his right. Voigt avoids Brown, skates towards the right circle, takes a righty shot, kick saved by Ratzlaff. Rebound goes towards Voigt. He feeds up top to Bucata. Now it's the right wing for Gratton. Make that Shea over to Lebster in the left circle. One guy's out of the box, and that's Beraldo. As Bucata, right side lefty shot saved by Ratzlaff, and he holds on. Gratton tried to redirect it and cause havoc in front of the net. He was out there with Peter Tischke. So now we have 1:14 left in a 5-on-4 power play. 1:52 left in the first period. And the Icemen lead 2-0. Manny will take the drives out there with Ness Ricketts and Danny Genev, and the lone defenseman's Garrett Pike. Jack Ricketts, we've been talking about him throughout the start of this season, his goal-scoring potential, 2 goals in 5 games. And he had 20 goals last season with Quinnipiac. The year before that, 2 seasons ago, he had 19 goals in 39 games at Holy Cross College, where he was a teammate with John Gillette. Genev gets it after Utah won the draw. Up top to Pike, right point. Across to Manning. Manning just inside the left circle. Gets it to Nez. Back to Genev. Genev on the right side takes lefty shot. Saved by Ratzlaff. And the Icemen clear it out to center ice. Pike gets the puck at the Utah line. As he'll stop in front of McKay's net. Now he'll start the attack, dangling the puck back and forth. Pike will move it to his right for Ness. Ness slides it back to the Utah line for Genev down the middle. Crosses center ice, accelerates in the offensive zone. Genev will whip it around the boards. Ness over on the right side, fakes it behind him, and he'll sling it back towards the left point for Manning. Manning gets it across towards Genev, but it lands up at Jacksonville stick, so Genev just had to corral it. Now across to Manning. He's in the left circle. Manning will back it out to the left point. Now he skates back towards the left circle over to Ness to Ricketts down the middle of the ice. His lefty shot is sticked away, and it goes out of play as Matteo Costantini got a stick in the way and took away the follow-through from Ricketts. The puck deflected out of play. 17 seconds left in the power play and 55 seconds left in the first period. So Grizzlies will switch up with 17 seconds left in the power play. More of a conventional 5-on-5 unit. Rylan Kovacevic looking for his first pro goal. I got to imagine when he gets his feet wet in pro hockey, he's going to start scoring in bunches. Friesen will take the draw. He's in his first year pro. Face-off won by the Grizzlies. Salem over in the left point. Fans on it, and it goes out to center ice. It's just glanced off his stick as he was trying to get it to Kovacevic. Salem with a left wing feed out to Kovacevic. He'll move it to the right side. Grizzlies skeet to the right circle. Center pass to Friesen, just overled for him as he tried to tap it in the back of the net as he was cutting towards the crease. Kovacevic skates with Salem. Van Wy out of the box as he cuts off a Grizzlies pursuit. Now we're skating 5-on-5. Jacksonville leads 2-0 on goals from Dalton Duhart and Peter Tischke. Van Wy accelerates around Salem. Van Wy right goal line, tried to force one in. McKay makes a left pad save. Hislop back around the boards behind Utah's net. Jacksonville cuts it off. Icemen are pretty big. Liam Coughlin listed at 6'3", 210. He looks every bit of it. Tischke moves it back towards the left side. Icemen, lefty shot, saved by McKay in the butterfly position. And that will do it for first period action as the Icemen outshot the Grizzlies 12-10. Dalton Duhart scored an unassisted goal. 10:50 in, 10:49 in, missed it by a second. And then Tischke got an even strength goal. Actually, I think it was a power play goal he scored. It was Jacksonville's first power play goal of the season, with Bykov and Brody Crane getting the assists. When we come back, we'll recap the first 20 minutes of play and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0. We're back in 2 minutes to recap what happened, and we'll also go over some scores from around the world of sports, and we'll talk about Charles Edward Nastu, who scored his first NHL goal last night for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. First intermission, Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0. Well, there was a fight 19 seconds into the game. We're not entirely sure how it got started, but Adrian Beraldo and the Grizzly captain, Tyler Gratton, dropped the gloves. Looked like Gratton got about two good lefts in, and then Beraldo got three pretty strong rights in, and the third right knocked down Gratton. So 19 seconds in, just like that, the start of a three-game series, first shift of the series, and Beraldo and Gratton dropped the gloves. It stayed a scoreless game until Dalton Duhart scored 10:49 in. Duhart, a former Bloomington and Kansas City skater. It was a turnover, and the Grizzlies had two giveaways in the first period, and one of them turned into Duhart. It was all alone on the left side. He bounced one off of McKay's shoulder and into the back of the net. Then Jacksonville got on a power play as Noah Gansky got a tripping minor, 12:38 in, and Peter Tischke in the high slot with a screen out in front, and it was Garrett Van Wy, the big 6'2" forward, He was in front of the net with a Grizzly. McKay was trying to look around him. Tischke had the puck in the high slot and fired away, probably knowing that McKay didn't have good vision on it. And Tischke, the former Grizzly, finds the back of the net. He's also played with some other teams in this league. Tischke had 4 goals with the Grizzlies in the 2019-2020 season. He gets his first goal of the season. Patrick Bykov and Brody Crane picked up the assists. Later on in the first period, Beraldo got a roughing minor, 16:02 went in. Van Wy got a tripping minor, 17:22 in. So the Grizzlies had 40 seconds worth of a 5-on-3 power play. They just couldn't find a way to get anything generated there. And it's one of those where the Grizzlies still looking for the game's first goal. They had 10 shots in the first period. Neil Shea and Danny Genev had 2 shots, and then 6 other Grizzlies with 1 shot, and they include Salem, Pike, Timofeyev, Hanson Bukata, Lebster, and Ty Voigt. For Jacksonville and their 12 shots, it's a pretty balanced effort. Bennett MacArthur and Tyler Coffey each had 2 shots, and then 8 other Icemen had 1 shot on goal, including Duhart and Tischke, who scored the goals. So a skate 5-on-5 to start the second period. Jacksonville is 1 for 1 on the power play. Utah's 0 for 2 as the Icemen got their first power play goal of the year. They're now 1 for 13 on the campaign. Utah's penalty kill is now 13 for 15 on the season. And Jacksonville's penalty kill has been outstanding. They are now 15 for 16 on the PK. So we'll see if the Grizzlies have a second period comeback in them. Last season, and obviously from year to year, and especially with a new coaching staff, you can't take too much stock into what happened last year. But the Grizzlies, as we know, their best offensive period by far was the second frame. So we'll see if they can get out in open ice. Grizzlies do have a lot of team speed, especially among the forwards. Now see if the Grizzlies can generate something. Jacksonville seems to be a defense-first club. I mean, they allow over 38 shots per game, and I know it's just a 4-game sample size, and they only take 23. They seem to be on point defensively. They seem to be disciplined, and they seem like they'll give you anything along the perimeter. They're just going to clog up the middle, and the Grizzlies are going to have to fight for that real estate out in front of the crease. And they're going to have to fight for that all series long if they want to have success against this Jacksonville club. Quite a few games in action. In fact, there's a couple Mountain Division games ongoing. One that's involving one Mountain Division team is Florida and Wichita. That game has 15 minutes left in the third period, and they're tied at 1. Game played at Intrust Bank Arena. Florida's 2-2 on the season, and Wichita is 1-0-1-1. After one period, over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, actually they played 2 periods, and Rapid City leads Allen 1-0. Allen has outshot Rapid City 31-19, but it's Rapid City who's 2-2 on the season. They lead the 1-2 Allen Americans. Other action in the league, one game has gone final as South Carolina defeats Orlando 4-2. Former Tahoe Night Monster Simone Pennard with one of the South Carolina goals. And one game involving non-Mountain Division teams is early in the third period. Fort Wayne leads Iowa 2-0, and Grawl has both of the Fort Wayne goals. One goal in the first, one in the second, as Fort Wayne leads Iowa 2-0. There's only one game in the National Hockey League tonight, as there were 16 games last night. Mammoth ended their 7-game winning streak as they lost to the Edmonton Oilers. The one game tonight is Columbus and Toronto, and that one's a blowout. 8 minutes left in the third period. Columbus leads Toronto 6-1. Last night, the biggest story in our minds is Charles-Edward Dastu, the former Grizzly, and always going to be a Grizzly legend, who had 26 goals in the 2021-22 season. He won the league's Defenseman of the Year award, and then he had a postseason run for the ages. Yes, he had 19 goals in 18 playoff games in 2022. He scored his first NHL goal with the Tampa Bay Lightning. It was 7:58 into the third period, and it turned out to be the game winner, as Tampa Bay ended up defeating Nashville 5-2. And Dastu was the number one star of the game. So that was certainly amazing to see. And with that, hopefully Dastu will be in the Tampa Bay lineup on Sunday afternoon at Delta Center as they take on the Utah Mammoth. Interestingly enough, Sunday's game is the next one for the Mammoth, but they did have a little bit of news today as they signed Logan Cooley to a long-term contract, 8 years, and the average annual value is $10 million per season. So 8 years, $80 million for Logan Cooley. And with what he's done over the last couple weeks, that definitely looks like money well spent, as he's part of that amazing forward line, or at least has been recently, with Dylan Gunther and J.J. Paterka. When we come back, we'll talk some hockey on the other side, as we're hanging out at Maverik Center, high atop section 114, and Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0. You're tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
First intermission here at Maverik Center. Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0. The Zambonis are on the ice. We got a Les Schwab Tires Zamboni, and we also have one from UTA. Now, I've been told that this Zamboni is called the Train Bony. Now, you know, UTA, they've got multiple things. They've got buses, they've got trains, and apparently what Adam Johnson's driving right now is a Train Bony, as it is a beautiful-looking UTA Zamboni, and it's an interesting game. I was thinking about Zambussi, which obviously doesn't mix. Apparently it's a train-themed Zamboni. So we're going to go with Train Bony, unless you got some other better options to it. And so we're certainly thrilled to have the Train Bony here on the Maverik Center ice, along with the Zamboni with Les Schwab Tires. We know that the Les Schwab Tires Zamboni is just that. It's Les Schwab Tires Zamboni. Now we got to figure out Train Bony, Zambussi. I'm not sure. We're going to have to come up with a nickname for that. I think Train Bony is the favorite in the clubhouse. Some stats of the first period. Grizzlies had 2 penalties, 7 minutes worth of penalties. Jacksonville, 3 penalties worth of 9 minutes. Jacksonville, among their 12 shots on goal, they had 8 scoring chances. So 8 of the Jacksonville shots in the first period were considered scoring chances. 6 of Utah's 10 shots in the first period were considered scoring chances. Now, we noticed early in the game, probably the first 10 minutes, that Jacksonville is winning a ton of faceoffs. Grizzlies responded with some faceoff wins later on in the period. Jacksonville ended the first period leading Utah 14-10 in the faceoff circle. Both teams had 3 power play shots. Peter Tischke found the back of the net on his power play look, and that was just over 14 minutes into the first period. Utah had 3 hits in the first frame. Jacksonville had 4, and both teams had 2 giveaways. Unfortunately for the Grizzlies, one of their 2 giveaways led to the unassisted goal by Dalton Duhart. 10:40 into the first period. So see if the Grizzlies have a second period comeback in them. We've seen some fun action over the years here at Maverik Center, and well, the Grizzlies are still looking for their first win against Jacksonville. They're 0-5 all-time against the Icemen. These teams will meet 3 times here in the regular season. All 3 meetings will be at Maverik Center. Don't forget to get your tickets for tomorrow night. 7:10 face-off. Go to UtahGrizzlies.com or call the Maverik Center box office or call the Grizzlies office at 801-988-8000. That's 801-988-8000. As the Train Bony and Les Schwab Tires Zamboni exit the ice, we'll have second period action here shortly. seems like in this series, one of the big factors is going to be who can play their style of hockey. Oddly enough, it looks like both teams to start the season kind of play a similar style. But can the Grizzlies force their way in there? They know that Jacksonville is one of the bigger teams that they'll face all season, and they're going to try to clog up the middle. Can the Grizzlies find a way to get in there, get in the paint, and see if they can get some of those dirty, greasy goals? We'll see if they get some of those in the second period. One of the interesting storylines that we noticed in the first 20 minutes was the three Grizzlies making their team debuts. In the case of Sage Weinstein and Rylan Kovacevic, they were each making their professional debuts. Still waiting for the first shot for Weinstein and Kovacevic. Timofeyev fired a shot from the right wing. And so he has one shot on goal. And we've been talking about Kovacevic partly because he's got a ton of scoring potential. You know, he's a young guy, but as with a lot of first-year pros, once they get their feet wet in pro hockey, they're going to be pretty strong. And for Kovacevic, you talk about a guy last year. He had 6 goals in 11 playoff games in the WHL. He had 26 goals in total, 21 with Moose Jaw and 5 for Prince Albert. That was his best offensive season. He's 21 years old, and he's got an AHL contract with the Colorado Eagles. Interestingly enough, there are 8 players on the Grizzlies roster who have either NHL or AHL contracts. Sage Weinstein has an NHL deal with the Colorado Avalanche. And there are 4 players with contracts from the Colorado Eagles: Evan Friesen, Neil Shea, Garrett Pike, and Rylan Kovacevic, and 3 players who have AHL contracts with the Tucson Roadrunners. And that includes Jack Ricketts and the reigning league goaltender of the week, Dylan Wells, as well as Maxim Barbashev, we have yet to see play in a game so far this season. So he's yet to make his Grizzlies debut. Hopefully he will in a couple weeks from now. Well, looks like they've got Simba Cam rolling on here at Maverik Center. Looks like everybody having a good time. When we come back, we'll have second period action as Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0. You've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Are about set for second period action. Glad to have Max Brown tuned into tonight's broadcast. Nadine Hallowell. Spagali's there. I mean, he had an interesting pronunciation to his name, so and I'd actually forgotten what it is. But he's tuned in. You know, Mike Gorley's also tuned in tonight. Got EC and Brady G. They're tuned in as well. Danny's tuned into this one. Faith Hilton as well. And certainly glad to have everybody tuned into Utah Grizzlies hockey for every game. And we thank everybody who's tuned into Grizzlies games over the years. It's interesting to think about. Both teams got a lot of scoring chances in the first period. 6 of Utah's 10 shots on goal were considered to be scoring chances by the off-ice officials, and 8 of Jacksonville's 12 shots were considered to be scoring chances. So we'll see what happens here in the second period as Grizzlies look for a little bit of a comeback. As we mentioned last year, it seemed like we mentioned it often last year, by far the Grizzlies' most successful offensive period was the second frame. They were able to utilize their speed and playmaking ability. It felt like a little bit more. Obviously got the longer changes for line changes in the second frame. So maybe that's going to be the case for the Grizzlies here tonight, as they're looking to make a comeback to start the second period. Oddly enough, it's not the same forwards that started the game. It's Rylan Kovacevic out there with Evan Friesen and Stepan Timofeyev and a defensive pairing of Garrett Pike and Christian Felton. Jacksonville, on the other hand, it's going to be the same 5 that started the game for them, and that's Matteo Costantini, along with Patrick Bykov and Nathan Dunkley, in a defensive pairing of Peter Tischke and Adrian Beraldo. Beraldo got in a fight with Tyler Gratton 19 seconds into the game. Friese will take the draw against Costantini. Draws won by Utah. They skate from left to right as we see it from high top section 114. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. Rink wide feed goes between the legs of Timofeyev. As playing up around his net is Scott Ratzlaff. He'll feed it to the near side. Costantini, the Western Michigan product, first-year pro, gets around Pike. As Costantini will dump it in deep off the Grizzlies' backboard. Puck slides towards Tischke. Left side, he fires lefty shot that goes wide. Glove side on McKay. As Jacksonville's Costantini will drop it for Bykov. He gets it to number 7, Nathan Dunkley. He tried to feed it to the right point, but nobody was home. So Ratzlaff will drop it for Adrian Beraldo. He's already got a fighting major to his credit. Beraldo, left wing feed out towards Dunkley, and he dumps it in. As Beraldo is just a goal and an assist away from a Gordie Howe hat trick. Right point, righty shot, and that one's sticked away by McKay. That shot was taken by John Spetz in his professional debut. Spetz played at UConn for 4 or 5 years. Scrum over in the near corner. Hansi Mukata comes out with a puck. As he'll dangle back and forth, he gets it to Gillette at center ice. Gillette will nudge it in, and he chases after it over in the left corner. Gillette gets pushed along the boards. Has taken its his slip. He collides with Gillette. Now puck goes back towards Geneva, over to Gillette, who drops it for Ness. Ness right side, backhand shot, save, rebound, shot goes just wide. Boy, Ness had a good look on the second attempt, but just fired it wide towards the near side. Glove side on Ratzlaff. And Y will drop it off as Jacksonville has the puck deep in their own zone. Over to Brown, to Y, cross-ice feed off the near wing boards as it's taken by Grando. Chris is his first name. He gets neutralized, so dump it in. As McKay feeds it towards the right corner. Brown gets belted by Weinstein, who's wearing number 14 for the Grizzlies. Puck bounced off of Van Wy, and he'll force it to the left corner. Weinstein gets the bouncing puck as he will slide one ahead towards Genev. Genev to the middle of the ice for Bukata. Bukata right wings it to Shea, goes off his stick as Retzlaff rolls it around the near boards. Shea takes it away from Crane. Now a little bit of a basketball screen as Kandata gets belted to the boards by Shea. Action behind Jacksonville's net. Puck slides out in front, and Retzlaff covers up as Ty Voigt was in a battle along the boards with Aiden Fulp, who wears number 27. Fulp, a third-year pro at Western Michigan University. So Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. 17:50 is the time remaining second period. Utah's taken the only shot here so far in the second frame, and that was Garrett Ness, who had a second look. And Ness just barely missed the net with his second chance. Ricketts out there with Shea and Voigt. Up top is Gansky and Luke Salem. That's the party of 5 for the Grizzlies here early in the second period. Grizzlies win the draw. Jacksonville had a 14-10 edge in the first period in the face-off circle. Now Jacksonville will nudge it ahead to center ice. Gansky gets it. Tried to extend it in. Puck bounced off a stanchion. Ricketts enters. He gets a rough ride from the far boards. Now Voigt skates in. Righty shot. And that one's saved by Ratzlaff as he just tried to curl the puck right past the left pad of Ratzlaff. As Kandata, rink wide feed, goes all the way down, no icing though, as Fulp was able to race out there. Fulp's got pretty good speed. Brody Crane, number 26. Now the puck goes back towards Utah. Voigt slides in the middle of the ice. Ricketts gets a wobbling puck, steps over the offensive line, gets around Gratton, gets around 2 defenders, stops on a dime. Ricketts sees over in the right point, chips it across. One-timer saved by Ratzlaff. That shot was taken by Christian Felton, who has 1 goal and 1 assist this season. MacArthur, Bennett's his first name, throws it towards the Jacksonville net as they dump it into the Grizzly zone. Felton with the puck. He gets around 1 defender. Now Felton at center ice is a good skater. Moves to his left as ricochets on Manning's stick as Manning was underled, passes behind him. Tischke out to center ice. Drops it for James Hardy. Hardy dances in the left corner as referee Rocco Stakoviak gets out of the way. Stakoviak and Sidney Harris are the 2 referees. Now to the middle of the ice. Lefty shot saved by McKay. That shot was taken by Dalton Duhart. He's already got 1 goal tonight. He has 4 league goals in 42 games. Now puck is backed out. Tischke will sweep one ahead as Hardy rides the puck around the wall. Tyler Coffey, the Colorado College product, first-year pro, throws it behind Utah's net as Pike delivers a blow. Now right side, lefty shot is blocked by Gratton, and Gratton will force it all the way towards Jacksonville ice. Grizzlies will reshuffle the deck and get a fresh 5-man unit on the ice. Out towards Costantini off his stick. Timofeyev gets it. He fakes it towards Kovacevic, takes a righty shot, saved by Ratzlaff. Now Kovacevic gets it. He's in the high slot. His righty shot's blocked by the stick of Costantini. Puck back up top. Jacksonville's in control. Iceman cross center ice. Costantini looks like he's going to be a good one. He drops off towards the right side. It's knifed away by Hanson Bukata, who anticipated the play. Friesen tried to skate in. He got held up from behind by Bykov. Now the puck goes back towards Dunkley. Dunkley collides with Timofeyev. Puck goes deeper into the Jacksonville zone. Dunkley looks over both shoulders, gets the puck, and he'll sprint it out towards Costantini, who's on the back check with Aiden Bukata. Aiden Hanson Bukata as Timofeyev will force it into the far corner deep in the Jacksonville zone. Gillette wins a 50-50 puck, trying to get to Ness. It's knifed away. Now up top, Salem. Lefty shot goes wide. Salem came into play, leading all league defensemen with 16 shots. John Gillette, right side, lefty shot, saved by Ratzlaff. He holds on with 14:57 left in the second period. It's Hislop and Genev have some words for each other. Actually, it's Timofeyev and Hislop having words. Timofeyev had an outstanding season for Norfolk 2 years ago, including a pretty good series in March of 2024 when the Admirals were here for a memorable 3-game series. Timofeyev, 2 years ago, the 2023-24 season, had 20 goals and 33 assists and a plus 15 rating in 62 games. He also had 4 goals in 8 playoff games that year. Then the next year, which was last season, he was a plus 20 for Norfolk before getting traded to Greenville. Jacksonville wins the draw. They're in their own zone, skating from right to left. Puck goes to Christopher Brown, centers it, and the puck bounces off the stick of Chris Grando. Christopher Brown, the son of Doug Brown, the former NHLer. Puck goes to center ice off a Grando's stick. And stepping in is Jacksonville's Aiden Fulp, who's got good speed. And Fulp's a big guy at 6'3", 210. Puck goes back up top as the Icemen win a 50-50 puck. Right side shot is blocked away by McKay, and it drifts back towards the right corner. Ness battles with Van Wy. Garrett's first name is a push towards Salem. Puck slides towards the middle of the ice off the scrum. Grizzlies get it. Genev crosses center ice. Grizzlies change around him. Genev drops it for Gansky. He'll take a right side righty shot, and that one's blocked away by a stick. It glances off the glass and bounces towards the near goal line where it's covered up by Ratzlaff. He holds on with 14:07 left in the second. John Mechanic, the Grizzlies head coach, getting a swig of water. Grizzlies will have the forward line of Ricketts, Shea, and Voigt out in the ice. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on social media, on TikTok where they're a superstar, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Ricketts will take the draw. He played at Holy Cross and Quinnipiac. Draw those won by Jacksonville. Up ahead, off the boards, Crane couldn't handle it. Foot race in the Grizzlies zone. MacArthur gets around Pike. Pike pins MacArthur to the boards. Iceman get it to Beraldo. So he'll feed it towards Crane. Brody's his first name. He danced around with Ricketts nearby. Crane falls down, gets back to his feet. Beraldo back towards the left point. Puck kicks off. Referee Rocco Stakoviak's skate. 50-50 puck goes towards Ricketts. He'll get to Voigt. He slices one to center ice for Felton. Felton head looking for Ricketts. It goes past him. Shea races down. He tried to drop it for Voigt. Glanced off the Iceman stick. Voigt with a right side shot. That's blocked away by Ratzlaff. I want to call them the Jaguars. As the NFL team's been in Jacksonville for 30 years. As Voigt bounces back towards Felton. Voigt tried to get around Crane. Now Voigt gets the puck around Crane. Left side. Dangling back and forth. He's a great puck handler. Voigt saucers one to Bukata. He'll drop it to the high slot for Manning. He'll take a lefty shot, and that's blocked. Bukata, right wing, still looking for his first pro goal. Up top to Manning. As Manning gets it towards Voigt. Now back up top to Manning, left point. He'll skeet towards his right, does Manning. Now to the right side, he'll chip it to Bukata. Right side, sharp-angled shot. Glances off of Beraldo's stick, and it flies out of play. 12:56 is left in the second period. Icemen lead the Grizzlies 2-0. Nobody has scored here so far in the middle frame. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Grizzlies have outshot the Icemen 5-1 in the first period. Jacksonville got first period goals from Dalton Duhart and Peter Tischke. More action after this.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Just the Grisby doesn't knock the internet out. Looks like Grisby's hanging out high atop section 114. Looks like we're still good there, Grisby. Looks like Grisby's having a good time. Yeah, we're on Flow Sports. We're on YouTube. We're having a good time. Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw as Luke Manning will take the face-off. He's out there with Reed Lepster and Tyler Gratton. A defensive pairing of Sage Weinstein in his pro debut and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Did you lose weight this offseason, Grisby? You look a little slimmer this offseason. Did you lose weight? Yeah, Grisby looks pretty trim as he was in hibernation all summer. Webster centers it towards Gratton off his stick as Gratton was about 5 feet in front of the crease. We're skating 5-on-5. Jacksonville leads 2-0. Puck hippity-hops towards the near circle as Hislop battles with Manning. Hislop with Manning on the back check. Gratton delivers a good back check on Hislop as the Icemen get it towards Spetz. He'll feed it to Dunkley, who battles along the right corner boards as Utah hustling with Manning and Hansen-Bukata, but it's John Spetz that gets the puck. Icemen up ahead out towards center ice. Duhart crosses center. He'll feed it to the right side as Weinstein collides with an Iceman. Puck goes back towards Spetz. He's at the Jacksonville line. Ahead to Hardy off his stick. As Hardy, Hardie. It's his first game of the season. Grizzlies tried to get to Manning, pass behind him. And icing is on Utah with 12:04 left in the second. Grisby looks like he can't see the action. Well, that's all right. We had icing. We'll go down there and we'll see what we can do with this defensive zone draw. Grisby looks like he's good with his eyesight now. Grisby is a bear of few words. And he wears the number 95 as, after all, he's been around as long as the franchise. 1995 is when the Grizzlies came into the Salt Lake Valley. They won a Turner Cup in their first year of existence. Now off the draw, left side. Condada with a shot that's kicked away by the right pad of McKay. Now Costantini back up top to Condada. He'll move it to his right. Dancing back and forth is Fulp. Now back to Condada. High slot, lefty shot. Glove saved by McKay. As he got a backhand save about chest high. Jacksonville will have an offensive zone draw. 11:48 left in the second period. A lot of cords here on press row, and luckily, miraculously, Grisby did not knock over the internet. Good to see Grisby hanging out in Section 114. I think we're going to see Grisby just about everywhere this season as the Utah Grizzlies are on their final hunt. Now Grisby hanging out with fans in Section 113. Costantini will take the draw for Jacksonville against Evan Friesen. Friesen looks towards Timofeyev. Puck bounces towards Timofeyev, and he'll lift it all the way past Condada. Glanced off Condada, sticks and no icing. As Kovacevic, he crashes along the boards. He tried to light up Aiden and Fulp. Jacksonville will move it out towards center ice. Costantini gets around Salem. Boy, Costantini looks like he's going to be an outstanding player. Mateo's his first name. He was part of Western Michigan's national championship team last year. As Kovacevic will lift it into Jacksonville ice. The Ice Men, if you will. Boy, we're going to have some lousy puns this weekend, I got a feeling. Costantini, right side, lefty shot, kick saved by McKay, but that got to McKay in a hurry. Costantini bounced out to Dunkley out to the right side. Shot saved by McKay. As Dunkley dropped it towards Christopher Brown. Brown, who's got 2 goals this season, fired away. McKay made a routine save. 16:06 left in the second period. So we're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. Utah has outshot Jacksonville 5-2 so far in this second period. Ness will take the draw for Utah. It's one blow by Christopher Brown. As the Icemen get it back towards the corner, Van Wy lets it go as he was battling with Felton. Now the puck goes back towards John Gillette. There's quite a few Big Ten products on both sides. Genev, one of them, gets the puck left side over the offensive line. Skates towards left circle, take a lefty shot that goes wide. Oh, he didn't miss by much. As Genev looking for his first pro goal. He was with Idaho during training camp. Peter Tischke, a calm presence. Dependable defenseman, gets it towards Grando, dumps it in. Chris Grando, one of the fastest Icemen. Grando battles with Felton. Pike gets the puck. He stops on a dime. He'll shovel it back towards Felton. Felton along the near wing wall. As he'll pitchfork it out to center ice. It goes past Ness and Genev. As Van Wy enters from the right side. He tried to lead it towards Grando, but it was overled as Felton takes over the puck. Christian Felton dancing around in his own zone. He'll get towards Genev on a rink-wide feed. Genev tried to dump it in, but it just goes towards the Jacksonville line. Hislop ahead to Coughlin as Felton will lift it over Coughlin's head. Hislop will drop it back for Adrian Beraldo, who got in a fight 19 seconds in the game with Tyler Gratton. Beraldo, left wing. He dangles back and forth as he'll pitch it looking for Crane. Crane was battling with Felton along the boards. Coughlin Fizgo in the left corner. Iceman get it towards Hislop. He's in the left point. He'll take a lefty shot, and that's blocked away. It bounced off of Liam Coughlin. Coughlin, if I remember right, used to play with Worcester. Played against the Grizzlies a couple times. Back up top to the right side. Spetz feeds it towards the far circle, and Hanson Buchanan with good hands able to corral it. He'll move it to Shea in the right wing. Shea over the offensive line, stops in the right point. He'll saucer it across to Weinstein. Weinstein's pass towards Voigt in the left corner is picked off. Puck goes back to center ice. Weinstein gets it back, and he'll fire it back in. As Spetz back behind his net gets double teamed by Shea and Voigt. Spetz will feed it towards Crane, who keeps his head up. Crane saucers it 3/4 of the length of the ice, trying to get to Hardy. Knifed away by Weinstein, who gets the loose puck. He'll throw it around Utah's net. Bucata gets around Crane and moves it out to center ice for Voigt. As Hardy gets the puck, he'll bounce it off of Weinstein. Puck hippodyams back to center ice, and Hardy will saucer it in. Jacksonville makes a change. Less than 9 minutes left in the second period. Icemen lead 2-0. Puck goes back to Jacksonville at neutral ice. As Fulp feeds to his right, glanced off a stick. Grizzlies chase after it deep in their own end. As Weinstein with the puck, he'll toss it off the far wing wall to Gratton. Gratton gets around 2 Icemen. He'll move it across to Gansky. It gets towards the center red line, and he'll whip it around the wall. Gratton collides with an Iceman. Puck in the corner. Manning feeds it from one corner to the other. Lepster chases after it. Lepster's got a good size-speed ratio. Reed Lepster towards the right side. Will backhand it towards Felton, who tried to get to Gratton out in front. Backhand shot saved by Ratzlaff. And the Icemen will globe it into the Grizzlies zone. Puck wobbles, and icing is called on Jacksonville with 8:11 left in the second. So past the halfway point. It almost feels like for the Grizzlies to have success in this series, they're going to have to win the 50-50 pucks, and they're going to have to find a way to make the most of their opportunities. Jacksonville does a good job of clogging up the middle. Manning will take the drives out there against Dalton Duhart. Scored the first goal of the game. Manning played at St. Thomas, and if it's the same St. Thomas that Manning played for, they're just opening up a beautiful $175 million hockey arena. As the Icemen win the draw, they'll get it out towards center ice. Racing across center is Duhart. He'll move towards his left, and he dumps it in. Duhart pushes Pike in the back. Puck slides towards Lepster. He races out to neutral ice. Lepster gets around one skater. Now he gets around Bykov, but Bykov takes it away as Lepster tried to lay it for Gratton. Costantini skates towards the left corner. He gets pushed by Pike. Costantini reverses his field. Lepster takes it away. Reed Lepster out to center ice. Jacksonville back defensively. Lepster moves to his left. As Kovacevic trying to center it to Friesen. Puck goes up top. Gansky on the right side takes a righty shot and gets redirected by an Iceman. As Jacksonville will loft it out of play, hits a girl in the head. Hopefully she's okay. Did it tap off the glass, or is it delay of game? Draw is going to be in the Jacksonville zone, and hopefully she's okay. She got hit with a puck. Looks like her significant other hugs her, and hopefully she's all right. Drowsky be over to the right circle. Friesen will take it against Braden Hislop. Jacksonville leads 2-0, 7:27 is the time remaining second period. Icemen won the face-off initially. Tishke got it taken away by Timofeyev. Puck goes out towards center ice. Near the Utah bench, it's jabbed away and goes in the Grizzlies bench. DJ McFarland, the head equipment manager, will toss the linesman Andy Van Wagener back in play. Face-off's going to be at center ice. McFarland gets a hand from some of the fans in section 126, even though they probably wish that he would have tossed the puck to them. Ness is out there with Genev and Gillette. John Gillette out of Holy Cross. First pro goal last Saturday. It's won by Jacksonville. Up ahead, Van Wyk is being held on by like a cheap suit. No penalty on the play as Van Wyk got held up along the right side by Weinstein. As Grizzlies out to center ice. As Gillette overskates it. Christopher Brown gets around Aiden Hansen-Bukata. As Brown will fire it off the boards. Puck ricochets towards the middle of the ice. Grizzlies quickly come up with it. Utah wobbles it towards Ness. It goes past him. As Jacksonville enters from the right side, Brown gets around Gillette. Sweeps one out in front. Picked off by Weinstein. His pro debut. Weinstein, an NHL contract with Colorado. So he'll drop it for Hansen-Bukata. It races out to center ice with long strides. Gets to the center red line. Tried to dump it in, but not all the way, as Jacksonville did a good job playing baseball about waist high. As Fulp races in, gets around Felton, moves it out in front. Pike's in the way as they were trying to hit a cutting leading Liam Coughlin. Voigt ahead to Shea across the center ice. Shea dumps it in. Voigt chasing after it. He got around one skater. And getting there first, though, was Jaden Kandata. As dancing back and forth, the Shea feeds it towards Voigt in the left side. Voigt up top. Pike dances around across to Felton off the wall. Felton will bounce to the right corner. Shea gets the puck. Neil Shea with an A on his sweater. Tried to fire towards the net from the right side as he was reversing his field. It's blocked by Kandata. As Shea leaps to keep a puck from going towards Utah ice. Shea fires on to Ratzlaff, who holds on. 5:48 left in the second period. Jacksonville leads 2-0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
5:48 left in the second period. It's Jacksonville 2, Utah 0. Nobody has scored here in the second frame, and really there's not a whole lot that's stood out about the first two periods. Jacksonville got on the board with Dalton Duhart. It was unassisted, 10:49 in, and then on a power play, Peter Tischke scored from the high slot, 14:03 in. Utah with a 7-2 edge in the shot count in the second period. Neil Shea leads Utah with, actually Shea and Voigt each lead Utah with 3 shots. Danny Genev has 2, and then a bunch of other Grizzlies with 1 shot on goal. For Jacksonville, MacArthur, Coffey, and Duhart reach time for the club lead with 2 shots each. Gratton will take the, looks like Manning's out there with Gratton and Lebster. Now they check the scores table. There's 5:48 left in the second period. As they check on that fan in row 1, they got hit with a puck, and hopefully she'll be all right. As it just lifted over the glass. That was a few minutes ago, probably about 2 or 3 minutes ago, and I wonder if they're not going to keep playing until they've attended to her. I think with the referees telling, saying that they want her to go upstairs before they start playing again, just to make sure that she gets helped out in the concourse. Rocco Stakoviak now talking with the people over in row 1. So Jacksonville leads 2-0. Same teams tomorrow night, 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 faceoff, and then the Grizzlies will be here on Halloween. Utah will wear a skeleton jersey. This time it's a white-based skeleton jersey. Remember a handful of years ago, and it's probably been over a decade ago, when the Grizzlies had a game here on Halloween, and the Grizzlies wore a skeleton jersey, and it got national attention. CBSSports.com, all sorts of websites ended up picking up the Grizzlies specialty jersey. As now hopefully that fan's okay. She got hit with a puck in row 1 a few minutes ago, and she gets a hand from this Maverik Center crowd. So the Grizzlies are wearing a variation of that jersey. And, Utah's had some great jerseys over the years. I wonder if this one, I'm not sure, hopefully it would win a league award. Remember Grizzlies last season won 2 league awards. Flocka Solano was the Sales Rookie of the Year, and the Grizzlies also won an award for Specialty Jersey of the Year, which was on fishing night when Utah hooked the Steelhead 6-5 on February 15th. Now we're back to live action. Offensive zone face-off for the Grizzlies in the left circle. Utah skating from left to right as we see it from high atop section 115. Actually, we're in 114 tonight. We've been in 114 every night. We're having some fun on a Wednesday night. As Manning will take the drives out there with the captain Gratton as well as Lebster. Gratton gets the puck. He's on a 3-game point scoring streak. Will kick it off a skate on towards Ratzlaff, who covers up. Scott Ratzlaff is off to a fast start this season. And his first 2 games this year, he picked up a .964 save percentage. Ratzlaff saved the first 17 Utah shots here tonight. Manning will take the draw once again, the St. Thomas product. Second full year as a Grizzly. Puck slides after the face-off battle onto Ratzlaff, who covers up. As Manning had the face-off against Coughlin. Looks like they're going to do it over again, over in the left circle. Gratton talking with both Manning and Lebster. Hanson Bukata skates in to communicate, make that Gansky communicating with Gratton. Fans making some noise here at Maverik Center. Draw won by Jacksonville as MacArthur will backhand it off the near wing wall. Gansky chases after it, so is Salem. Salem gets the puck. He'll saucer it to Manning. Manning sprints the puck out towards Gratton, who got his stick lifted. Puck wobbles towards Ratzlaff, and he covers up. 5:26 left in the second period. Still 2-0 Jacksonville. We'll probably see Dylan Wells at some point this week. Wells, the backup goaltender this evening. He's the reigning league goaltender of the week, as he had a 46-save shutout against the Idaho Steelheads. Utah won that game 5-0. Reed Lebster was a finalist for the league's Player of the Week award. He had 4 goals and 1 assist in 2 games against Idaho. As Grizzlies split that 2-game series. Utah's 2-2-1 on the season. Grizzlies win the draw. Pike over to Felton on the right side. Felton fires towards the net, saved by Ratzlaff. And it's clear but not out to the right wing. Now right side, Lebster with a sharp angle shot that goes wide. Now Pike with a blast. That's blocked away. Now behind the net, Gratton forces his way towards the right corner. He leaves it for Lebster. Lebster dances back towards the far corner. Stops on a dime. Reverses his field. Now around the net to the near side. Lebster, he dangles on the right side. He'll drop it for Gratton, who skates towards the right side. They left. He shot and it bounced off of Ratzlaff's glove and outside the cage. Puck up top to Felton, across to Salem. Over to Lebster in the high slot. He fires a righty shot, and that's sticked away by Liam Coughlin, and it flies out of play with 4:50 left in the second. So Grizzlies maintain some offensive zone time there, which is certainly what they're looking forward to see if they can find a way to climb back into this game. So Grizzlies get a fresh 5-man unit. By the end of Friday's game, 3rd game in 3 days, nobody's going to be fresh. Friesen will take the drives out there with Timofeyev and Rylan Kovacevic. A defensive pairing of Sage Weinstein and Aiden Hanson-Bukata. It's a draw won by Utah. Hanson-Bukata right side. Lefty shot goes wide. Timofeyev tried to sweep one out in front. It's taken away by Jacksonville, who tried to pitchfork it out, and Baraldo fanned on it. Timofeyev skates towards the left side. Tried to chip it out in front. Great pass, but it bounced over the stick of Evan Friesen, who was being occupied by James Hardy. Right wing, Kovacevic skates towards the high slot. His shot's blocked. Bukata, high slot. His shot's blocked away. Second block shot was by Duhart. It's Timofeyev wearing number 10 out there with Friesen. Timofeyev back up top. Weinstein over to Gillette. He's in the high slot. His lefty shot got redirected by a stick. Fans stomp their feet. Let's go Grizzly chant emerges. It's the Icemen lift it up and not out. Weinstein collides and the puck sips towards the Utah line. Grizzlies reset. Timofeyev over the line to Gillette. Right side, his lefty shot goes wide as he tried to negotiate a way around a double team. As Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 3:55 left in the second. Fans having a good time here on a Wednesday night. Remember, with Wednesday games, you can get a family 4-pack of tickets for just $48. After this week of games, Grizzlies will have 2 road games at Intrust Bank Arena, November 6th and 7th against the Wichita Thunder. Draw kind of pinned towards the right circle as Ness is holding down an Iceman. Now Jacksonville comes out with a puck as they'll bank it off the near wing wall as Dunkley Had a Grizzly behind him. He tried to hold on to Salem, hoping he'd get an interference call. As Ness along the right corner of the Grizzlies zone. As Dunkley gets pinned by Ness. Now Dunkley trying to break free. Salem pushes Dunkley in the back. As another Iceman joins the play. Gillette over in the slot near McKay. Puck goes up top, right point. Jacksonville fires towards the net. A great direct and went just wide. Boy, it looked like the goal light briefly for about a tenth of a second went off. Now another scrum along the boards. McKay looks over his left shoulder. Ness trying to saucer his way around as Ness holds on to an Iceman. Grizzlies come out with a puck. Utah across the center ice. Genev over the line, dangling back and forth. Left side, lefty shot goes wide. It stays in play off the glass. Gansky keeps it in right point. Gansky fires towards the net. Great directed and goes just wide. Now out in front to Ness. It's knifed away by the Icemen as Patrick Bykov was in the right place at the right time. Grando battles with Felton along the boards. Grando breaks free. Now it's the left side. Jacksonville's Christopher Brown gets up top. Good hands by Hislop to keep it in. As he'll drop it for Condada. He pitchforks it towards the net and it's picked off. As Brown to the right side dancing back and forth. Christopher Brown, the Jacksonville captain, will get it back. He looked for a centering pass. It's knifed away by Felton. Brown in the area. Pike will poke it away. Another Iceman gets it back up top. As Fulp fires towards the net, saved by McKay. As Brown tried to skate in, he got belted by Pike. Shea will dump it in. As Condada with the puck, he dances behind Jacksonville's net. Rink wide feed, angle left, goes past Van Wy, no icing. McKay behind his net will roll it towards Buchanan. Buchanan out to center ice for Shea, who gets back checked by Condada. As MacArthur tries to pin his way around Ricketts. Buchanan out to Voigt at center ice. Ty Voigt dangling back and forth. He'll get to Shea in the right wing. Shea tried to fire towards the net, but it was sticked away by Bennett MacArthur. Ricketts to the left wing, drops for Voigt. Minute and a half left in the second period. Ricketts fires towards the net. It goes wide. He was maybe hoping for a Shea redirection. Now Shea over in the right corner gets engulfed and held up by an Iceman. No call. Grizzlies to the right goal line. Gets to Ricketts, who tried to backhand it. Didn't get much on it. As Shea now has to break free. So he got held onto by Condada for quite some time. Puck ricochets towards center ice. Grizzlies reset. Manning had to get around one defender. Now Weinstein centers it out towards Voigt. It glanced off of his skate. Icemen come back the other way. Crane crosses the center red line. He'll throw it to the middle of the ice. Coughlin right side, trying to center it to MacArthur, who's being occupied by Weinstein. Both guys hit the ice near McKay's crease. Gansky out to center ice. Drops it for Lebster, right side. Now back towards Gansky. Gansky, great pass to Genev, who tried to shovel towards the net and fanned on it. Now Genev collides with an Iceman. Manning trying to break free. It's taken away by Peter Tischke. Puck is up but not out. Grizzlies bouncing puck. Rolls towards Retzlaff, and he's able to cover up as he stops play with 38 seconds left in the second. But it kind of feels like an awkward-looking play is how the Grizzlies are going to find the back of the net tonight. Boy, Genev had a pretty good look. He tried to shovel it in and just swung and missed. Got a feeling Danny Genev's one of those guys, once he finds the back of the net for the first time as a pro, he's going to score them in bunches. He seems like every game, it's 4 or 5 really good scoring chances out of nothing. Felton and Pike are the defensive pairing. Lebster, Manning, and Grattan out there with Manning taking the draw. 38.8 seconds left in the second period. Grizzlies have outshot the Icemen 10-3 in this second period. Utah's had quite a bit of offensive zone time over the last few minutes. Coca-Cola can race in the second intermission. We'll give you a live play-by-play of that. Jacksonville crosses center ice as Grando with good speed skates towards the left circle, trying to fire to the net, and it's sticked away by Pike. Grizzlies will lay it to center ice for Manning, cross the center red line. He'll move it to his right for Fulton, or make that Felton over the line. Back towards the right side as Jacksonville will get it ahead. Grando chasing after it. McKay comes out of his crease, and he'll nudge it towards the right corner as Lebster bounces off the glass. Friesen will drop it to center ice. Crossing center is Kovacevic. He'll skate over the line, try to center it to Pike. It's picked off. 2 seconds left in the period. Hardy near the buzzer, but offside is a call, and the horn sounds. And let's see if they'll put some time on the clock. It looks like they're going to put a little bit of time on the clock, but it looks like the score after 2 periods is going to be Jacksonville 2, Utah nothing. Randy Connolly going to the concession stands early. So he's going to beat the rest of this big crowd out there. So the draw is going to be in the Jacksonville zone right circle. So going to add some time. We're not sure just how much time yet. Grizzlies with a shot advantage in the second period, but neither team found the back of the net. Jacksonville first period goals from Dalton Duhart and Peter Tischke. 1/10 of a second. I don't even know if Friesen wins the faceoff cleanly and fires to the net that he gets it off in time. As just waiting for the linesman to drop the puck. He doesn't have any dinner plans. Puck is dropped, and that will do it for 40 minutes here at Maverik Center. Jacksonville leads 2-0. We'll come back and recap the first 40 minutes of play and talk some hockey, go over some other scores from around the world of sports. Icemen lead the Grizzlies 2-0. Grizzlies are going to be looking for a third period comeback. We're back in 2 minutes on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your adventure.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
A tradition unlike any other. We have the Coca-Cola can race here on the Maverik Center ice. We have Diet Coke, Fanta, Sprite, and Coca-Cola. It's the second Coca-Cola can race of the season. If I remember right, I think Sprite won last time. Chloe says, ready, set, go. Fanta off to a quick lead. Sprite cuts in front of Fanta. Chloe, coincidentally enough, the MC tonight, got engaged a couple months ago. Sprite's off to a big lead. Diet Coke with a bit of a slow start. Sprite races about halfway through, arms pumping left and right and up and down. Sprite negotiates its way around the net, and Sprite keeps its balance. Is Grisby going to interfere? Does Grisby do his best Chauncey Billups impersonation? And he does, as Sprite loses its balance and Sprite falls down. Fanta crosses into the right offensive zone, and Fanta easily crosses the finish line. Sprite comes in second, Coca-Cola in third, and Diet Coke might end up at the finish line about 2 hours from now. So that's the Coca-Cola can race, and Fanta's the winner, although we do know that Sprite was the fastest of all the cans, but Fanta gets the victory in the Coca-Cola can race. 2-0 Jacksonville, as Sprite and Fanta each have one victory on the season. Next Coca-Cola can race will be tomorrow night, and it's somewhere around 9 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. More second intermission coverage in 1 minute as Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
So Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0 as we're through 40 minutes of play here at Maverik Center in the series opener. Don't forget that both teams will be here tomorrow and Friday night. Face-off both nights will be at 7 o'clock. How about this? The off-ice officials in terms of scoring chances. It was interesting in the second period. Neither team scored a goal. Grizzlies outshot the Icemen 10-3. And in terms of scoring chances, according to the off-ice officials, Utah had 7. And Jacksonville had 1 scoring chance in their 3 shots. So 7 of Utah's 10 shots in the second period were considered scoring chances. And among the 20 shots the Grizzlies have so far tonight, 13 of them are considered to be scoring chances. So you can say Utah's had their opportunities, but they just haven't been able to cash in. As Scott Ratzlaff has played a good game in net for the Icemen. In terms of hits, Grizzlies have that edge. 9-8. Grizzlies out-hit the Icemen 6-4 in the second period. Utah with 3 giveaways, Jacksonville with 5. Neither team had a power play in the second period, and the Grizzlies are still looking for their first goal. As Dalton Duhart got the Icemen on the board, 10:49 in. It was an unassisted goal off a Utah turnover that was over in the left circle, and puck just bounced off of McKay's right shoulder and into the back of the net. Then Jacksonville got a power play a few minutes later, and 10:03 in. Peter Tischke scored from the high slot as Garrett Van Wyk was out in front of the net, and he occupied a screen. And so McKay didn't have much vision on the Tischke goal, and before you knew it, it was in the back of the net. Bykov and Crane picked up the assists. Jacksonville outshot Utah 12-10 in the first period, but in the second, it was Utah with a 10-3 edge in the shot count. So we'll see what happens in the third period. Scott Ratzlaff has stopped all 20 shots he has seen. Dryden McKay has saved 13 of 15. Handful of games in the league. 4 of them have gone final. South Carolina defeats Orlando 4-2. Fort Wayne gets a 4-0 victory over Iowa, as Fort Wayne was outshot 29-28, but the Comets come away with the 4-0 victory as Johnson picked up the shutout in net for the Comets. Game that just went final, Wichita defeats Florida 2-1 as Peter Bates scored 4:29 into the third period. That turned out to be the game winner. Florida outshot Wichita 30-23, but it's the Thunder that come away with the 2-1 win. Another game that finished 2-1. Blake Bennett scored an overtime game winner as the Rapid City Rush get a road victory over the Allen Americans. Colton Hargrove scored Allen's lone goal, and that was 9:43 into the third period. After 2 periods over Idaho Central Arena, Idaho leads Tahoe 2-1. First goal of the game was scored by Tahoe's Sloan Stanek. Mason Nevers found the back of the net for Idaho, 17-12 in. And Jake Boltzmann broke the deadlock, 8:58 into the second. Jacksonville leads 2-0. We'll come back and go over the one NHL game tonight and give you an update on Game 5 of the World Series. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
One NHL game tonight, as there were 16 games yesterday. Columbus defeats Toronto 6-3. So Columbus goes to 6-4 on the season. Toronto is now 5-5-1. Many games in the NBA, late third quarter. Portland leads Utah 108-90. That's right. The Trailblazers have 108 points with 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. So they're on pace for about 140 or more. Portland scored 48 points in the second quarter. Jazz had 43 points in the first quarter. Larry Markkinen with 21 points, 3 rebounds. Walker Kessler, 12 points, 8 rebounds. Keontae George has 16 points to lead the Jazz. But it's Portland who leads Utah 108-90, that game being played at Delta Center. And how about this? Game 5 of the World Series. It's tied 2 games apiece. And we're in the top of the 9th inning, and Toronto leads the Dodgers 6-1. Now remember, 6-2 was the final last night. How about that? As Toronto is 3 outs away from taking a 3-2 series lead on the Dodgers. Now remember, games 6 and 7 will be at the old Sky Dome, place that formerly was known as the Sky Dome. Now it's Rogers Center. How about that? Barring a miracle comeback by the Dodgers in the 9th inning, Toronto will have a 3-2 series lead and will be in Toronto for Game 6, looking to clinch it. So that's an interesting development in the world of Major League Baseball. Well, here at Maverik Center, we're having some fun. Obviously, it's the Grizzlies' final hunt. It's one of those things that, you debate just how often, we talk about it being the final season. It's just part of the reality. You see the final hunt stuff all around here at Maverik Center. And it's just, as we mentioned before, that's just kind of the reality of what we have for this season. And you think about 2 days from now, and really when I think about, interesting moments in Grizzlies history, I think about that Halloween. I was a producer over at 1320K Fan, and so I'm thinking, it was either 2013 or 2014 when the Grizzlies unveiled those skeleton jerseys for the first time. And I remember the national attention that those skeleton jerseys got. All sorts of websites were picking it up. And, it seems like every year you see crazy specialty jerseys all around. But for whatever reason, that one really took off. And we've seen a ton of skeleton jerseys over the last decade worn by teams. And the Grizzlies appear to be the originator of those fun skeleton jerseys. It's a slightly different variation as it's a white base jersey. I think a couple of fans actually went to the team store and bought those skeleton jerseys that I've seen here in the stands at Maverik Center. Go to the team store and remember, for every specialty jersey the Grizzlies wear this season, you can get them on the Dash Auction app. Pick your favorite Grizzly player, and you can not only get their jersey, it will be a game-worn Grizzlies jersey, which certainly adds quite a bit to the mix, and you can bring them to Grizzlies games. It's always fun. You have a specialty jersey one night, you come back for the next home game, and you could see based on the 10 people that are wearing the specialty jersey. Oh, that person got the shade jersey. We got Webster's game-worn jersey over there. Genevieve's is back over on the left side. That's kind of what you get from game to game. You get the jersey, you spend a good amount on it, and it becomes something you wear regularly to Grizzlies games for the rest of the year. And after all, Grizzlies jerseys do look good at Delta Center as well. Grizzlies did play at Delta Center for their first 2 years in the Salt Lake Valley, and they had a ton of success, averaging over 7,000 fans per game. And obviously we remember that Turner Cup run back in 1996. Seems like we've got a regular thing starting this season. We're in the second intermission. Looks like we're interviewing a season ticket holder, interviewing a fan, which is certainly fun for that fan. And we've got some great fans that are here not only tonight, but every night here at Maverik Center. Looks like that fan's got a Garrett Metcalf specialty jersey. Actually, it doesn't even look like a specialty jersey. It looks like that white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. Jacksonville leads 2-0. Grizzlies looking for the first goal, but if you look at the scoring chances, according to the off-ice officials, the Grizzlies won that battle. 7-1 in the second period. 7 of Utah's 10 shots in the second frame were scoring chances. 13 of the 20 shots are scoring chances for the Grizzlies. Although Jacksonville's done a good job getting quality with a limited quantity, 9 of Jacksonville's 15 shots through 2 periods were considered to be scoring chances. We'll come back in 2 minutes and have third period action as the Grizzlies are looking for a comeback. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. We're about set for third period action. Grizzlies have outshot the Icemen 20-15. Neil Shea and Ty Voigt each lead the way with 3 shots. Danny Genev and Christian Felton with 2 shots each, and then a bunch of Grizzlies with 1 shot on goal. For Jacksonville, it's been a very balanced attack. Brennan MacArthur, Tyler Coffey, and Dalton Duhart each with 2 shots. One of Duhart's 2 shots found the back of the net. They joined us late. Jacksonville scored 2 goals in the first period. As Dalton Duhart scored 10:49 in, it was unassisted. And Peter Tischke got Jacksonville's first power play goal of the season. That was 14:03 in with Bykov and Crane getting the assists. Grizzlies are back on the ice to start the third period. Dryden McKay is in net. He has saved 13 of 15. And Scott Retzlaff is in net for Jacksonville. And he has saved all 20 that he has seen. Remember, it's the same 2 teams tomorrow and Friday night as well. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 both nights. But make sure to come on down to Maverik Center and join us for the festivities. Grizzlies next week will have a 2-game road trip against Wichita. And then the following week, Grizzlies will be back here on the Maverik Center ice on Friday, November 14th. And then Utah will be in Boise on November 15th and 16th. Interestingly enough, the Grizzlies' last game ever at Idaho Central Arena in the regular season will be a Sunday game, a very, very rare Sunday game at Idaho Central Arena. As they show the highlights of the second period, Griffin Ness had a pretty good look on a rebound on a backhand attempt and just missed the net. A lot of battles along the boards, kind of a slow down style of play from both sides. McKay's made some good saves to keep the Grizzlies within striking range. Grizzlies have had a pretty strong defensive unit. And really, that second period, Grizzlies did a great job defensively making quick decisions with the puck. Well, Utah, it's kind of a new trend this season. They like to switch things up to start each period. In terms of the lineup, though it does look like it's going to be Pike and Felton once again defensively, but the forwards are going to be Rylan Kovacevic, along with Evan Friesen and Stepan Timofeyev. Timofeyev in his Grizzlies debut. He was here at Maverik Center a couple years ago as a member of the Norfolk Admirals. Timofeyev did play against Utah as a member of Greenville on opening night, October 17th, in a game the Grizzlies won 3-1. Grizzlies will be skating from right to left in a white jersey with white numbers and professional green trim. Jacksonville from left to right. As Friesen will take the draw for Utah, but it's won by Costantini and Jacksonville. As the Icemen get it ahead. It bounced off We stick at center ice. Patrick Bykov. McKay behind his net over to Pike. He reversed it to Felton. As Christian Felton will zip it out towards Kovacevic. It bounced off his shoulders. He tried to glove it at the Jacksonville line. Icemen skate around towards Ratzlaff, and they'll reverse it back towards the near side. Now the puck will spin to the far side. Felton's got good speed. And even though Dunkley moves pretty well, icing is on Jacksonville as Felton was able to win the foot race. And if we're talking about fast Grizzlies players, Christian Felton certainly is one of them. And the Grizzlies, it's a little bit more of a defensive identity this season. The Grizzlies have maintained pretty good team speed. Grizzlies make their first line change of the third period as Griffin Ness is out there with Danny Genev and John Gillette, and a defensive pairing of Sage Weinstein in his professional debut, along with Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Bukata 4 assists in his first 2 games as a Grizzly. Utah wins the draw. Genev gets it towards Ness off his stick. As a puck back towards Genev. He'll bouncing off the backboard of Jacksonville, hit off the stanchion. The Icemen will sky it past Hansen-Bukata, and icing is on Jacksonville as we get another whistle. 44 seconds into the third period. Looks like Weinstein's going to stay on the ice for the Grizzlies. He played with the WHL Spokane Chiefs for 5 seasons. He appeared in 249 games with Spokane, scoring 18 goals and 66 assists. In fact, he was third on the Spokane club last season with a +38 rating. He's got an NHL deal with Colorado, and he's going to be a fun one. He's wearing number 14 tonight, 6 feet, about 190 pounds. Utah wins a draw. Hansen-Bukata right side. His shot blocker saved by Ratzlaff, and it flies out of play off the protective netting. 19:10 left in the third. And it seems like the whistle has been the dominator here so far tonight, as we've seen quite a few whistles here. The game has lacked a little bit of that smooth flow that you're looking for. Ness will take the draw once again against Christopher Brown. I think the over-under on me mentioning Christopher Brown's father playing in the NHL this week is at 9.5. I think we're already at about 4 here so far. Utah wins the draw. Genev right side. Sharp angle. Shot saved by Ratzlaff. Grizzlies get it back. Genev, tried to pitchfork one out in front, looking for Ness, but too much traffic as the puck goes out to center ice. Gillette will bounce one in as the puck wobbles on its side like a spinning top. Ratzlaff will drop it off as Hislop gets it towards Brown. One-time tap towards his left for Grando. Back to Brown. What can Brown do for the Icemen? Skates towards the right side, trying to center it. A glance off a Salem stick. As puck towards the corner, Salem battles with Brown. Salem, the Los Angeles native, holds his ground, takes over the puck, trying to get towards Ricketts. It's jammed away. Now scrum along the boards. Van Wyne near the area for Jacksonville. Utah gets it. Genev moves it towards his right as he was looking to get to Lepster. Pass in front of him as the Icemen out towards center ice. And Spetz will dump it in. Spetz in his pro debut. John's his first name. 5'10", 195 pounds. Out to center ice. Shea will loft it in. Ratzlaff stays in front of his net as Fulp throws it towards the right side. Voigt skates towards the right point. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. Lays it for Gansky. Gansky right side. Shot saved by Ratzlaff. Voigt gets the puck. Reverse it to Shea on the right side. Shea tried to spin it towards the far side, but Gansky was coming off for a change. So the puck goes out to center ice. Felton saucers it and skips it all the way past Ricketts. No icing on the plays. The Grizzlies now complete the line change as Voigt and Ricketts exit. Jacksonville across the center ice to get around Grattan. They try to get around Manning. Manning took it away. And they'll lay it for Lepster. Oh, Manning got a stick held up momentarily. No call. Jacksonville over the offensive line. Crane, right side, lefty shot blocker. Saved by McKay. Now left side shot. Saved by McKay again. Puck goes towards the left point. But it was a broken stick and not the puck. Grizzlies have it with Felton. They'll stop in the left point. As he'll bounce one towards Manning. It hits the top of the boards. He trying to play baseball about waist high and swung and missed. As Felton gets pushed along the boards, fan in row 1 pounds the glass back and forth. That's exactly why he got that seat in row 1, so he could do that right there. Pound the glass. That's what everybody does. Not everybody, but a lot of people like that first row seat so they can get up and close to that action. Felton dumps it in as he backhanded it as he was crossing the Jacksonville line. Hardy with the puck. Now back to Hardy on a give and go from Grando as the Grizzlies now get it. Lepster over to Manning, who spins around the right goal line. He's an outstanding skater. Manning gets pushed down by Tischke. Peter Tischke gets the puck wearing number 16. Trivia question later on in this series is, what was Tischke's number as a Grizzly back in the 2019-2020 season? Jackson over the line. They tried to start to Hardy, and it's stuck away by Weinstein. Right side, Spetz gets the puck, skates towards the right corner. Salem nearby. Spetz will throw it to the left goal line. As Jacksonville bouncing off a stick. As Timo Feyev pins Jacksonville to the boards. Bykov throws it up top of the Grizzlies, take it away. Up ahead, Kovacevic, right side shot, kick saved by Radslav. As Weinstein tried to center, that's going to be a penalty. Friesen tried to get the puck, and as he was accepting it, Dunkley from behind on the back check / Friesen's stick. So the Grizzlies go on the power play for the third time tonight. 2 minutes for slashing as Nathan Dunkley goes to the box. 15:59 left in the third. We'll see if the Grizzlies find a way to get on the board with their first 5-on-4 power play goal of the season. Time of penalty, 4:01 in. Grizzlies doing a pretty good job getting some offensive zone time and trying to be the aggressor as they climb back into this game. Gratton's out there taking the draw. He's got Shea to his left and Lepster to his right. Up top is Voigt and Hanson Bukata. Right off the draw, we get a penalty, and it's going to be on the Grizzlies. Tyler Gratton right off the draw as he took the face off, hit Brown in the face with a high stick. And so the Grizzlies' power play lasts all of 7 seconds. Gratton can't believe it, but he's going to the box. We're going to skate 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 53. Well, last year the Grizzlies outscored opponents 9-2 in 4-on-4 situations. Nobody has scored in a Grizzlies game this season in a 4-on-4 situation yet, but maybe the ice could open up a little bit. Brown, who drew the penalty, but it looks like he didn't draw blood as it was just a 2-minute minor. Manning will take the draw against Brown in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone. Jacksonville leads 2-0. Draw won by the Icemen. Up top to Spetz. Jason's his first name, making his pro debut out of UConn. As Felton takes it away. As Felton over the far goal line, he'll throw it to Lepster. Lepster crosses center ice. Lepster will step over the offensive blue down the middle, but Pike got there before him. So offside of the Grizzlies with 15:37 left in the third. It just seems like the rhythm is just a little bit off here this evening. Grizzlies had 3 days off before tonight's game. Grizzlies will keep the same 4 on the ice with Manning, Lepster, Felton, and Pike. Manning will take the draw. He's going to take quite a few of the big face-offs of the Grizzlies this season. Garrett Van Wy will take the draw. It's Van Wy's second game of the year. Linesman Andy Van Wagner drops the puck, says, my bad, we'll do it over again. And Wagner's a pretty big linesman. As puck is dropped, both teams jostle for positioning, and taking it is the Icemen in a blue jersey, white numbers. They try to get to MacArthur, and he couldn't get it. Bennett MacArthur chasing after Lepster. Now Lepster stops. MacArthur will move out to the neutral ice. Rink-wide feed connects to Pike. Pike over the offensive line, dangles around one skater, but lost control of the puck as he tried to jump around Jacksonville player, and that was Aiden Fulp. Van Wy over the offensive line, but Jacksonville's offside. And this game, if you're looking for tempo, flow, this game has none of it. As the Icemen were offside, it's been kind of a clunky affair here so far. A lot of battles along the boards, a lot of dump and chase. Let's see if we can find a little bit of beauty here in the final 15-11 of the third. Ricketts will take the draw, first sure pro, with an AHL contract from Tucson. He's out there with Voigt, Weinstein, and Hanson Bukata. The draw won by Ricketts. He won it over Costantini. Voigt crosses center ice. He played with Cincinnati last year, dangling back and forth. He's a great puck handler and has great hands. Voigt back up top to Bukata. He's on the right side, trying to get towards Weinstein. He gets it off Costantini's stick. Weinstein dances back and forth, gets to Ricketts, who skates around Jacksonville's net towards the far side. Ricketts tried to center it to Bukata, but the pass is behind him. Jacksonville comes back the other way. 42 seconds in the 4-on-4. Stishke fires towards the net, saved by McKay. As Stishke made it look easy with that shot, got to McKay in a hurry. Puck goes back to neutral ice. Stishke, the University of Wisconsin product, gets the head to Costantini. Across the center ice, Costantini's got a ton of skill. He'll drop it for Crane, who spins around to avoid Kovacevic's check. Kovacevic gets the puck. He crosses center ice. Gets his way around Crane. Gets in the middle of the ice. Righty shot. Blocker saved by Ratzlaff. As Kovacevic, he's an outstanding shooter. Out to the right side. Salem bounces it off an Iceman. It goes out to center ice. 5 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Salem whips it around the boards. Ratzlaff cuts it off. As he'll lay it for Beraldo. Got in a fight 19 seconds into the game against Tyler Gratton. Right wing feed out to Grando across the center ice. Grando dumps it in, gets around Salem. Now out of the penalty box is Gratton. Left side shot saved by McKay. As Salem gets around McKay's net. He's surrounded by a double team, and on the back check, Grando pushes Salem towards the boards. Jacksonville in the offensive zone. As Dunkley rink wide feeds picked off by Gillette. He'll get to Gratton across center ice. Gratton skates in, swings and misses, gets it back left side, lefty shot. Glove saved by Ratzlaff. And he holds on with 13:27. That's the time remaining, third period. Jacksonville leads Utah 2-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Utah's outshot Jacksonville 26-18. And that includes a 6-3 edge here in the third period. More action in a moment.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable, all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Same teams tomorrow night. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. Grizzlies and the Icemen. Utah with an offensive zone draw as they look for the game, look for their first goal. Jacksonville scored twice in the first period. Gillette, Ness, and Geneva are the three forwards, along with two defensemen and Garrett Pike and Christian Felton. Grizzlies have a shot advantage. They've also got the advantage in the scoring chances. Jacksonville wins the draw. They tried to lift it out but couldn't. As Spetz spins it along the boards. Hardy lets it go past him. Felton couldn't reach it. As it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone, Pike runs it down. He'll lay it for Felton in the far corner of the Grizzlies zone. Utah skating from right to left in the period. Felton loses his stick as he collided with Hardy. Now Felton tries to play soccer as he gets held up along the boards. Felton thinking about picking up his stick. Felton literally kicks it towards the far wing wall to Geneva. Felton picks up a stick, left wing, lefty shot, glove saved by McKay. As he holds on, it's a backhand catch about shoulder high. 2-0 Jacksonville. Both teams will change things up as the Grizzlies will have a defensive zone draw. Dryden McKay, the Hobie Baker Award winner. He holds NCAA records for wins and shutouts. In fact, he had 3 seasons in college where he had exactly 10 shutouts each year. Manning will take the face-off for the Grizzlies, a St. Thomas product. They just built a beautiful $175 million hockey facility. Jacksonville wins the face-off, skates on the far side, knifed away by McKay. The Icemen skate around the net. They get pinned by Manning. As Weinstein gets hit in the back, Webster with a gentle push and a mild arc, and the old biscuit will bounce into the Icemen zone as Gratton chases after it, but Aiden Fulp gets there a stride ahead of him. Fulp played at Western Michigan, but wasn't part of last year's championship team as he had made the pros before then. As Brody Crane gets back checked by Manning as the puck slides towards Aiden Hansen-Bukata. He feeds to Gratton. Gratton left wing feed to Webster. Webster skates back into Grizzlies ice. He gets hit by Coughlin. Coughlin takes the puck away. Now Dunkley, left side down the middle of the ice. He fires it wide, stick side on McKay. Grizzlies get it back towards Ricketts. Jack Ricketts. Across the center ice, he got good size. Trying to get around two still. Iceman does. He shoots, he scores! Jack Ricketts gets his third of the year. And Utah climbs back into this one. It's now a 2-1 game. Boy, what a move by Jack Ricketts. Got around two Icemen. Got towards the left side, and he fired it past Scott Ratzlaff. What an unbelievable effort by Jack Ricketts. Ricketts crossed center ice, split a double team, and then got to the left circle and fired it past Ratzlaff. What a beautiful move by Jack Ricketts. That's got to be one of the best goals in the league this week and one of the best goals we've seen all season. Brett Slaff with the goal. Neil Shea with the assist. That's Shea's 4th assist of the campaign. Time of goal is 7:58 into the third period. Grizzlies the draw. Salem dumps it in, and the Icemen will loft it into Grizzlies ice. Salem chases after it. He gets the puck. Stops as he avoids Van Wy's check. Salem now gets pushed towards the boards. Salem on 2 knees gets back to his feet. Kansky in the area. And as Utah looking for a little bit of life. Jacksonville center pass. Shot goes just wide as Van Wy. Now left side shot to score. And on the next shift after Ricketts finds the back of the net, it's Chris Grando scoring for the first time this season. He already has 3 assists. Now adds a goal to his name. As Grando gives the Icemen some insurance. It's now a 3-1 game. Grizzlies scored 7:58 in. And Grando scores 8:24 in. So 26 seconds after Utah got on the board, Icemen respond. So Chris Grando with the goal, and Jacksonville, after it looked like Utah gained some momentum, Jacksonville took it right back. Grando with the goal, and Christopher Brown with the assist. Grizzlies over the offensive line. Kovacevic, they'll fire it in deep as he snapped in the left point. Now the Iceman, Hardy moves it out to center ice. Grizzlies get it back. Kovacevic crosses center ice, gets around 3 Icemen. And arm is raised by Sidney Harris, the referee, and it's going to be a Utah power play. As Jacksonville touches up over in the right corner. 11:09 is the time remaining. Third period slashing is going to be the call. And so Utah's going to be on the power play. Let's see if they can find a way to climb back into this game. Skating towards the penalty box. Having some words for Sidney Harris is Braden Hislop. Hislop out of St. Clements, Ontario. 2 minutes for slashing. See slash on the back check. Stepan Timofeyev. Time of penalty, 8:51 into the third period. So a lot of action over the last minute. Jack Ricketts scored 7:58 in with Neil Shea getting the assist. And then 26 seconds later, it was Chris Grando getting his first of the year. Shea off his stick. Puck rolls towards the right side. Voigt keeps it in. He feeds it to Gratton in the right wing. Now back up top to Voigt. Over to Hanson Bukata. He'll slide one to Shea in the left wing. Back up top, Hanson Bukata. Over to Voigt right side. He tried to center it towards Lepster. It's picked off, and Jacksonville clears it out. McKay plays it behind his net. So lay it for Hanson Bukata. As the fans serenade the Jacksonville player in the penalty box. Out to center ice. Voigt crosses center ice. Steps over the offensive line. He'll drop it for Shea in the left wing. Shea throws it back cross ice towards Voigt at the line. Voigt bobbles it for a second. Regathers it at neutral ice. Voigt lays it for Gratton. Trying to feed a hot pass towards Lepster. Puck goes back towards Gratton. He's a neutral ice. Steps over the Jacksonville line as he gets thrown to the boards by an Iceman. And helicoptering it all the way towards Dryden McKay is Jaden Kandata. Kandata, 6 feet, 194 pounds, out of Georgetown, Ontario. Grizzlies out to neutralize after they make a line changes. Manning steps over the offensive line, over skates the puck. Manning gets it back in the left point, dances back and forth as he'll feed it towards Griffin Ness. Ness over in the left corner, rolls it along the boards for Genev in the right wing. Danny Genev skates back towards the right corner, stops, tried to slide one towards Ricketts. It's knifed away by Jacksonville, and the puck slides all the way towards the Utah blue line. 25 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. Pike over the offensive line. Drops it now back to the left side for Manning as the pass went past him from Ricketts. Now Ricketts gets it back, drops it for Ness. Now over to Manning, one-timer, and a stick breaks, and the Icemen will saucer it all the way towards McKay. The puck kicks towards the right wing. Genev runs it down, and Iceman hits the ice. Pike in the area. Grizzlies come back up with it. Genev races out to center ice. Genev skates towards his right. Icemen are back at full strength. Genev right side. He'll fire lefty shot, saved by Retzlaff. Bobbled puck out in front, and it's cleared out by Costantini. Grizzlies run it down, no icing, less than 9 minutes left in regulation. Jacksonville leads 3-1. Puck goes towards the near side. Kovacevic, he gets belted to the boards by Jacksonville's Tyler Coffey, who played at Colorado College. Rink-wide feed connects to Friesen. Friesen, right side, his shot is sticked away and it flies out of play off the protective netting. 8:35 left in the third. Jacksonville leads 3-1. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies. Utah has outshot Jacksonville 28-20. If you joined us late, Jacksonville scored 2 first-period goals. Dalton Duhart and Peter Tischke did the honors. Nobody scored in the second period. Grizzlies outshot the Icemen 10-3. Jack Ricketts scored 7:58 in. It's his third of the season. Neil Shea with the assist, but just 26 seconds later, Chris Grando scored his first of the year with Christopher Brown, and Garrett Van Wy gained the assist. Icemen win the draw. They'll tap it off the glass. Puck rolls back to Grizzlies ice as Weinstein in his professional debut. Sage Weinstein now to the left side. Friesen dumps it in, but couldn't get a piece of it. Icing is on Utah. 8:20 is the time remaining, third period. Jacksonville's had a pretty balanced attack. Draw back to the right wing. Friesen will take it against Christopher Brown. Friesen, the leading goal scorer for the Wenatchee Wild in the WHL last year. Utah wins the draw. Bukata gets bounced to the boards. Kovacevic avoids Brown's check. Christopher Brown's father, Doug Brown, played a strong two-way game. Just about 900 NHL games of the Penguins, Devils, and Red Wings. Hanson Bukata skates towards McKay. Now he'll drop it for Kovacevic. Riley Kovacevic will saucer it airborne. It's gloved and dropped by Peter Tischke. He'll get it ahead to Van Wy, who dumps it in and chases after it. As Van Wy gives Hanson Bukata a rough ride. Hanson Bukata falls down, gets back to his feet. AHB over towards Timofeyev. And now back to AHB, who's behind Utah's net. Both teams will reshuffle the deck and get a fresh set of skaters on the ice. Grizzlies slow down the attack. They trail 3-1. Time's on Jacksonville's side. Bukata over towards Pike. Pike will nudge it to center ice for Gillette. And it flies off a Gillette stick. Red slap behind his net. Will push it towards Spetz. As John Spetz gets belted over in the near corner. Action in Jacksonville's end. As Ness battles puck along the boards. And it's cleared out by Bykov. Felton will pitch it ahead about 10 feet to Ness. Ness will backhand it in deep as Gillette chases after it. As Gillette gives Spetz a rough ride as the glass goes swaying back and forth. Now back towards the right wing. Gillette on the back check. But moving out to center ice is Braden Hislop, one of 6 defensemen for Jacksonville tonight. Felton gets knocked down at the Utah line. As the Grizzlies come up with the puck, they skate from right to left here in the period. Less than 7 minutes left. Pike behind his net near goal line. Dances back and forth. As he'll get it towards right side. Felton will loft it in. As Jacksonville back deep in their own zone. Icemen, it's looking like they're killing a little bit of time. They cross center ice. They try to dump it in. Felton gave him make that Shea on a good back check as Jacksonville just reset at center ice. As Volpe will dump it in, chasing after it Salem. Luke Salem gets held up along the left corner boards. Coughlin trying to get towards Volpe, who spins himself around. Now puck goes back out to center ice. Batting it, it's Jack Ricketts. He'll skate after it in the right corner. Ricketts dances around. As he's being double-teamed, Ricketts skates towards the right point. He'll sweep one across to Shea, who keeps it in left point. Shea reverses back towards Voigt at the right goal line. Voigt gets a rough ride from behind by Kandada. Shaden's his first name, 5th game of the season. Kandada's a +1 coming in. As the puck glances off the glass, Grizzlies reset back in their own zone as Gansky with the puck. 5:40 on a moving clock here in the third period. Grizzlies make a full line change. As Gansky now back behind his net. He'll move it to his right. Grizzlies cross center. Manning gets a hot pass, skates towards the right side. It's Manning. Gets pinned to the boards. Lepster tries to join the play, but Manning keeps the puck. He'll get it up top. Weinstein down the middle of the ice. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Ratzlaff. Puck goes back towards the right corner boards. While Manning tried to light up an Iceman. He got more boards than he got Iceman. As Manning skates towards the right side, gets towards Hanson Bukata. Reverses back up top to Gratton. Gratton right side, lefty shot. Glove saved by Ratzlaff. He holds on with 5:03 left in the third period. Jacksonville leads 3-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Now we'll see if the Grizzlies have a third period comeback in them. I'm Tyson Whiting. I'm just all hopped up on albuterol here today as Dryden McKay in net for the Grizzlies has saved 17 of 20. And on the other side, Scott Ratzlaff's had a good game as he has saved 29 of 30. We'll see if the Grizzlies get aggressive in pulling McKay for an extra attacker. Utah's had plenty of good scoring chances tonight, but Ratzlaff's made some good saves. See if the Grizzlies get some traffic out in front. Evan Friesen will take the dries out there with Rylan Kovacevic and Stepan Timofeyev. Three Grizzlies players making their team debut, and in the case of Kovacevic and Sage Weinstein, two guys making their pro debuts. Jacksonville wins the draw. It's lifted up but not out as Pike keeps it in right side. He'll roll it back around the boards. Jacksonville will sweep it along the wall. Bounced off the Felton's stick. Felton gets it back. He'll throw it to Pike near the Grizzlies bench. Garrett Pike out towards Kovacevic, who gets pushed along the boards. Utah tried to center it towards Timofeyev. He got cut off by Jacksonville. As Felton tried to center it again, Jacksonville gets a stick in the way, and it goes on towards John Spetz, who fires it off the glass. Jacksonville gets it at the Utah line as Grando got a good side check from Pike. Felton out to center ice, and he'll zip it around the boards. Grizzlies will switch up forwards. As puck lifts, John Gillette trying to get the puck, but it's Jacksonville that gets it. Bykov, as a Iceman goes tumbling down. Grizzlies run it down. Bukata gets it behind Utah's net. They'll feed it towards Weinstein, who turns it over. As Bykov gets pushed towards Weinstein, the 20-year-old. Now back behind Utah's net. As Jacksonville tried to center towards Bykov, Grizzlies get a stick in the way. Both teams have been pretty active with their sticks so far tonight. Volpe gets it across, left side, lefty shot, saved by McKay. And he absorbs it with 3:53 left in the third period. So draw's going to be over in the left circle of Dryden McKay's zone. McKay wearing a plain white helmet. Backup goaltender tonight, Dylan Wells, is the reigning league goaltender of the week. I imagine we'll see Wells at some point this week. Wells had a 46-save shutout against Idaho. It was Utah's first shutout since New Year's Eve 2023 when Dante Januzzi saved all 32 Tulsa shots. Grando will take the draw, and he wins it for Jacksonville on the left side. Lefty shot, glove saved by McKay. That shot was taken by Jaden Condata, who's part of the top defensive pairing with Aiden Fulp. Not many names on this Jacksonville roster are familiar to Grizzlies fans unless they watch the entire league. Maybe a handful of guys have played against the Grizzlies in the past. And the same may be the case for Jacksonville fans. Not a whole lot of players on the Grizzlies side that they remember. 6 all-time meeting between the clubs. Jacksonville has won each of the previous 5 meetings. Utah trying to get off the schneid against the Icemen. Utah wins the draw. Gillette out to center ice. Bounced off a stanchion. Now Gillette enters from the left wing on the back check. Lost control of the puck. Jacksonville slowing the game down a little bit to a crawl. Kind of a slow crawl. As Kadada dumps it in onto McKay. Grizzlies out to center ice for Geneyev. And he'll dump it in. Tishke chasing after it. As Ness will lave the puck. Nobody, though, was coming after it as Costantini crosses center ice. Steps over the offensive line. Skeets towards the left wing. He's an outstanding skater. He's got a good size-speed ratio. Left side shot bounced off of McKay. That shot was taken by Brody Crane. It's bounced off of McKay's shoulder. Ness out to Shea across center ice. Grizzlies change up around him. Shea left side takes lefty shot. Glove saved by Ratzlaff. It was a backhand catch about waist high. He holds on with an even 3 minutes left in regulation. McKay's still in there. We'll see just how aggressive John Buchanan gets in terms of pulling his goalie. Grizzlies are going to call timeout right now with an even 3 minutes left in regulation. Assistant coach Ryan Anderson is going to drop a play. Timeout Grizzlies. Utah's outshot Jacksonville 31-22. Looks like most of the crowd is stuck with it through the end. Not too many people have left early. As Anderson talking with Garrett Pike and company. Neil Shea, Ty Voigt. Shea with an assist in the Jack Ricketts goal. And really, if you're talking about an important part of this game, really the third period, Grizzlies scored 7:58 into the third. That made it a 2-1 Jacksonville lead. And we always talk about how some of the most important parts of a hockey game come after a goal gets scored. What do you do in that next shift? You know, do you keep the momentum or does the other team get it back? And Jacksonville on that next shift scored just 26 seconds later. Chris Grando with his first of the year with Brown and Van Wyk getting the assists. So that's really, if you're talking about, Utah trying to climb back into the game, Jacksonville, once it looked like Utah had gotten momentum, Jacksonville did a good job getting it back on their side. Icemen have goals from Dalton Duhart, Peter Tischke, and Chris Grando. Grizzlies have a third period goal from Jack Ricketts, which was one of the best goals we'll see all season. Luke Manning will take the draw. Utah's net is empty. Smoke him if you got him. 3-1 Jacksonville. 6 Grizzlies to 5 Jacksonville with Utah's net empty. Jacksonville will fire it off the top of the glass. It stays in play. Pike runs it down in the Grizzlies zone as Pike dances around on the right side. Garrett Pike will move it across the Ty Voigt, who crosses center ice. No spin it to his left for Shea. Shea rolls it along the boards as back towards the right side. Scrum along the boards. Manning in the area trying to jostle for positioning. Webster holding his ground on Coughlin as there's 2:33 on a moving clock. Jacksonville trying to just kill time as the puck squirts up top. Neil Shea in the high slot, dangling back and forth. Shea gets the right side. Pike one-timer goes just wide. Gratton gets the puck off the board, throws it to the right side. Now Jacksonville's in control. They skate out towards center ice, and Crane just threw it to the middle of the ice where it's picked off by Webster. Webster skates around his empty net. He'll tap it off the end boards towards Shea. As Neil Shea, the speedy lefty, gets out to center ice, dangling back and forth across the center, and he'll roll it along the board. Shea and McKay were teammates 2 years ago with the Newfoundland Growlers. Manning skates around Jacksonville's net. Now he reverses his field, tries to force one out along the far post, and Jacksonville cuts it back to the right wing. Grizzlies reset. Voigt, sharp-angled shot, bounce near Manning. Now the Icemen get out towards center ice. Van Wyk will fire it off the near wing wall. Pike runs it down. 1:37 is left in the third period. Grizzlies switch up skaters. Timofeyev out to center ice, left wing. Gets around Ness, fires down the middle. Righty shot, saved by Ratzlaff. Now the Grizzlies trying to force one out in front, and that's Kovacevic. And Ratzlaff closes the door. 1:20 left in the third. Van Wyk in the area gets held up by Ricketts. Kovacevic gets hit in the back by Brown. As Utah back behind the net. As Ness in the area. Ness gets pinned to the boards by Tischke. Brown throws it towards Van Wyk, who bounces it to Aiden Hansen-Bukatu, who keeps it in. As Grizzlies get to the right side. 1 minute left in the third period. 3-1 Jacksonville. Kovacevic feeds to the right side. A Grizzly falls down. Wide with the puck. Kovacevic tried to play soccer, but it went past him out to center ice. Bukata will fire it on to Ratzlaff, who gloves it and drops it to keep the play alive. Tischke will fire it off a Grizzly stick, and it flies out of play into row 2 of section 113. And a fan in a Shoresy jersey will come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. Sitting in row 3, seat 3. And he points to the back of his jersey. He's a big fan of Shoresy. So he's certainly fired up. He probably went through the entire night wondering if he was going to get a puck, and he finally got one in the final minutes. I was thinking about getting a puck, but I got to go to the team store to get one. Draws over in the left circle. It's 3-1 Jacksonville. Utah needs a miracle. Utah wins the draw as Neil Shea over to the left side, gets towards Manning. He'll reverse it back to the right point for Voigt. Voigt dangles back and forth. He gets the Pike. Now over to Shea in the left wing. Shea bouncing off his stick. And Jacksonville will clear it out to center ice. Gratton tries to re-enter. Jacksonville on the back check. Gets held up. Scrum near Jacksonville's bench. Bykov will pitchfork it out to center ice. 10 seconds left. Voigt over the offensive line, drops it for Shea, who gets hit in the back. Shea rolls it along the boards off of Voigt's stick. 3 seconds left, and it's going to be a 3-1 Jacksonville victory as the horn sounds. Icemen go to 4-1 on the season. Grizzlies fall to 2-3-1. Jack Ricketts scored Utah's lone goal, 7:58 into the third period, but then Jacksonville responded just 26 seconds later with Chris Grando getting the insurance goal. The game winner was scored by Peter Tischke on a power play. That was 14 minutes into the first period as Grizzlies salute their fans that showed up here on a Wednesday night. It's the Icemen that come away with the winner in the series opener. Final score, Jacksonville 3, Utah 1. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Final score from Maverik Center. The Jacksonville Icemen defeat the Utah Grizzlies 3-1. I'm Tyson Whiting. Jacksonville scored 2 goals in the first period. Dalton Duhart scored 10:49 in. It was unassisted off a Utah turnover. Then Jacksonville got a power play a couple minutes later, and Peter Tischke from the high slot fired it past McKay as Garrett Van Wy occupied a screen in front of McKay, and the Grizzlies goaltender was trying to locate the puck and just couldn't ever find it until it was in the back of the net. Bykov and Crane picked up the assist, and that turned out to be the game winner. Jacksonville outshot Utah 12-10 in the first period, and the Icemen took a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. Nobody scored in the second period. The Grizzlies did outshoot the Icemen 10-3 in the middle frame. Utah had 7 scoring chances to Jacksonville's 1 in the period, but it remained a 2-0 game. Grizzlies got on the board 7:58 in as Jack Ricketts got his third of the year on a great individual effort as he split a triple team, got an opportunity in the left circle, and he fired it past Scott Ratzlaff. Neil Shea picked up the lone assist, and that's Shea's 4th helper of the campaign. And, we talk about it often. It seems like the most important shifts come after a goal gets scored. Jacksonville responded on the next shift as Chris Grando got his first goal of the season. Brown and Van Wy picked up the assists. Jacksonville goaltender Scott Ratzlaff saved 32 of 33 as his record goes to 3-0 on the season. Dryden McKay saved 20 of 23 as he gets the loss. His record goes to 1-3. In terms of scoring chances, Grizzlies had 21 and Jacksonville had 12. So Grizzlies had their chances. Looks like the battle of the faceoff circle is pretty close to even. Grizzlies with 5 giveaways. Jacksonville had 7. But the Icemen just did a good job buckling down defensively. When it was a 2-goal game, and then there for the 26-second stretch where it was a 1-goal game, and then Jacksonville regained the 2-goal advantage, and Utah just had a tough time getting the puck in there. They pulled Dryden McKay pretty early, and even though Jacksonville didn't score on the empty net, and the Grizzlies had a lot of offensive zone time, Icemen were able to hold on for the 3-1 victory, as Jacksonville has just allowed 7 goals in their first 5 games of the season. Well, it's kind of like the world of baseball where if you have a tough night, you can bounce back the very next evening, and that's what we have as the Grizzlies have a quick turnaround, and it's the same teams tomorrow night. Utah is looking to find a way to make some adjustments and see if they can even up the 3-game series against the Jacksonville Icemen. Utah ended up out shooting Jacksonville 33-23. Utah was 0 for 4 on the power play. Jacksonville was 1 for 2. 3 stars of the game. Third star is Jack Ricketts, who scored Utah's lone goal in a great effort. He's the 3rd star. He has 3 goals in 6 games this season. Second star is the goaltender, Scott Ratzlaff, as he saved 32 of 33. And the number 1 star, he scored the game winner, Peter Tischke. Gets some revenge against his former outfit. There's no former Grizzlies players or coaches that were around when he played for Utah during the 2019-2020 season. But Peter Tischke gets revenge on his former fans. He scored 14:03 into the first period. Tischke was a -1 tonight, but he did score the game winner. And the Icemen come away with a 3-1 victory. Well, we had a crowd of 2,287, but looks like the Eccles made it out here. Good to see you guys as they made it out here to Maverik Center on a Wednesday night. Saw Randy Connolly and his wife here. And it's great year in and year out to see a lot of regulars that we see every season come to Utah Grizzlies games. My brother Ike was here and my dad was also in attendance for tonight's game, and hopefully we'll see a big crowd tomorrow night. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off, but we want to see you here at Maverik Center. There's nothing quite like seeing live hockey in the building. Well, that'll about wrap things up. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, in 2 hours and 25 minutes and in front of a crowd of 2,287, it's the Jacksonville Icemen that defeated Utah 3-1. As Jacksonville got goals from Dalton Duhart, Peter Tischke, and Chris Grando, and Utah got a third period goal from Jack Ricketts, with Neil Shea getting his 4th assist of the season. I'll talk to you tomorrow night, 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to hopefully someday get to the National Hockey League. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.